This is the next big pot.
Judge Emini, Scott Contest, 112, 115. Judge Paul Thomas, 112, 115. Judge Donald Jella, 113, 115. The winner. And the new. Champion of the world. From Cambridge, in Scotland, Ricky Bowles.
I laid out the blueprint. Yes, they gave him the decision. They gave him the fight. He beat me, but the blueprint is right there. Just look at it. I took it out of the vault and I handed it over to Canelo Alvarez.
To be honest, Harrison's the biggest bum inside boxing. And my reaction to David Price after Arreola calling me out that midget, yeah. I'll fight David Price any day of the week. You see, you plumber from Liverpool. It's personal between me and you. I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff in you. Okay, alright. Thanks, bud.
No, brilliant, like I say, for the centre itself, those community centre. Amir Khan gets the big fight with Pacquiao and the world champions, the lads that are coming through. It'll be a fantastic. I equate this to the Kronk in America way back in the time.
You know what? Fuck Joe Gallagher. Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher.
Fuck Joe Gallagher. I got him in a cage, man. Not the cage.
The plan is to have Algieri knock Pacquiao out.
Yes, but I still got him in a cage. He listens to me very well. I'm gonna let him loose.
Round 10?
Round 10 or 11. I'm gonna let him go.
I only have one thing to do, and that's to fight Thomas Hearns. And I'm planning on breaking every bone in his body.
But what works is they're going to go and chase Leo Santa Cruz. I told them, and I told them on Wednesday, you're not going to get Santa Cruz. Like I told them, you're not going to get Martinez.
Now, coming to you live, the next big pot.
Who's hosting?
What? Welcome back to the next big pod. I'm your host Brian King, and we're back for episode 61. 61. Right, we're going to be. Oh, fuck off. We're going to be chatting shit as usual. We're going to be fucking breaking down the world of that Arreola card, and we're going to be slagging Jazza Dickens. And fuck knows. I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm tired as fuck. So we're going to get into that. But see, before I do, I may as well just do this right at the start, just to get out of the way. So people like the videos, right? Go onto iTunes, leave a comment, leave a fucking snidey one. I don't like the good ones. He's a gay as fuck when you leave that, right? But leave 5 stars, because I want to get as big as possible. I want to take over the world, and I want nonsense to become mainstream, right? That is what we want here. So I want you to start doing that. Don't be fucking about. Just get it done. Bosh. Right? At the weekend, where did you want to start? Did you want to start Wilder, or did you want to start like Wales?
Go up the card, might as well. Right. Should we start? What was the first one? Diaz Vasquez, wasn't it?
Right, so we want to start with Wilder, Matt? No.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah. And then let's do. Should we do the Warren one after?
We may as well kick off with Wilder, Matt. Like, we can kind of just brush past Erickson Lubin. Everybody knows I'm quite high on him, and I know Samuel Laron was kind of shitting on him just because he didn't get the stop people.
No, I wasn't shitting on him. I said he could have got him out if he really wanted to up the tempo.
No, but you say he's got
like that with his ability. No, you took it as I was shitting on him. I wasn't at all. I just said he should be getting guys like that out. And
no,
saying that was someone you wasn't a fanboy of, you would have said, oh, you should have got him out.
No, I understand what you're saying, but sometimes it gets to the stage where if you keep fighting these guys that you know you've no chance of absolutely losing, you just kind of get through the motions, and it just seemed as if he was doing that. He was still picking his punches. What I like about him is there's no many fighters in boxing these days that it goes to the body, and him and Spence do that in a regular. So I like him. He's only a Wayne. I think he's still only 20. I don't even think he's 21 yet. I think he turned pro when he was 17, 18.
He turned pro at 18.
So what we can tell is he didn't go to the Olympics because he was high hopes, and we're stealing this off the boxing rant here, that it's because he's minging as fuck when he had money and he wanted to support his family. I was going to say something else here, but because it's Scottish and people think it's a racist term, it's not Scottish. But so he turned pro early, and I mean, BoxRec people will go in there and see that this guy was 20-0 or 20-1 at the time when it's a decent record, but the guy was nothing. He was just one of the tough guys that could take a bit of a fucking doing. But at the same time, he's ranked in a few organisations, so he's got about 12 months before that he's going to end up having to get a belt. I like what I'm seeing. The guy, he's still quite young, and I'm fucking team Lubin. I was team Amir Imam, then he got fucking iced with Granados, so I'm sticking with this. I'm trying to look what you said this earlier on, that you're not on the fucking. He's hyped up.
I didn't say he was hyped up.
I think he's been brought along quite well. He's not getting too much hype yet. He seems to be gradually sort of working his way up the cards. He wasn't first on the bill on Saturday. He seemed to be moving up, and the opponent was durable. It was a pretty boring fight, to be honest, but not a complete mismatch, which was nice.
No, I'm just like
kind of.
And go.
With him it's kind of like, is he ready to take that next step? Because like he's kind of there now, but are they going to keep him for another year maybe at this level, or are they going to give him like a Trout or someone like that, which would be quite a big step up for him? But I think that'd be maybe one more of these like tough guys, and then put him in a proper fight, because you never know until they actually fight someone. We all liked Imam, and then he didn't even fight anyone good and fucking lost. So you never completely sure until they fight anyone. But at 154, none of them fight each other anyway, so we'll probably never see him.
See, the thing is with him, I rate him that high. Like, I feel as if, like, I'm not saying he would win, but he would be an absolute nightmare for somebody like Liam Smith, who holds a belt right now, and who's getting a fight with Canelo. I think like, Lubin would fucking give him absolute fits, because it doesn't seem to be a sort of fighter. What was that, an 8 or a 10 rounder? Was it an 8 rounder? Doesn't seem as if like, he tires much, and he still throws a lot of punches. And as we know, Joe Gallagher, Liam Smith, Quigg, they just love to blow their fucking load. They just like to do nothing for 6 rounds, then blow their load for the last 6 to see if somebody absolutely dies a death. But Trout would be a right good fucking fight. I mean, it's kind of top heavy in that division. It's either they're absolutely trash or they're like Lara, Charles, or that.
They put him in with someone like Vanez or something. I reckon that'll be next.
Vanez is a nightmare though. Vanez is a hard fighter for Indy.
Yeah, but he's a gatekeeper, isn't he? Like, if you can't get past him, you're not gonna do much. I'm not saying he's a bad fighter. He's good.
There's one thing with Vanez. Vanez just does enough to always lose, no matter what. He will find a way to lose a fight.
I do think they've got a point about Trout though. I feel like they might cash Trout out soon.
But you look at the division, and there aren't any stars in that division. The gatekeepers are nearly as good as the champions. Like they're all at a similar kind of level. If they all fought each other, there'd be losses along. All of them would take a loss.
Andrade would beat all of them, I think. He's about the only one.
Yeah, maybe he's a bit better than them, but there's not much in it. Like there's not like a star. Obviously, Canelo's back down there, so he's a star, I suppose. But
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for this J-Rock to get exposed here. The amount of Al Heyman fighters that, he's the next big king, and he ends up getting absolutely fucking stabbed or something like that. And this guy's been in with absolutely nobody, and they're going to post bids now for, it's the good Charlo he's fighting.
No, it's not.
And as it's IBF one, it's not the one that fights John.
He's fighting the good Charlo, is he?
Aye, so I'm holding off. I mean, everybody's fucking J-Rock's the real deal and all, but many times have we said that in the last 12 months or so that end up looking fucking super. Antoine Douglas was meant to be the next big king. Antoine Douglas was supposed to beat Golovkin. Looky boxer, you wee baldy bastard. What happened to him? Get absolutely fucking stiffened. You fucking horrible looking rat cunt. So, I just want like Lubin to kind of get moved on a bit quicker. Like these guys are doing nothing for him. It's maybe like the same way, you know how Verdejo just, it seems either Verdejo's overhyped or he's going through the motions fighting these guys that he doesn't care about. Just sink or swim. Just sink or swim. Just fucking stick them in with somebody decent and see how he goes. And see, it's not a case of you need to kind of build them up. If they're not good enough to beat the likes of Trout and that now, then they're never going to be good enough. Because even getting to their 20 fights and all that, and it doesn't matter your age. If you've had nearly 20 fights, you should be good enough to fight these guys who are past it. Trout gave Charlo a good fight. Honestly, like, he's competitive, but if you're serious, you should be beating these guys no matter what your age is. So, come on, Lubin. Come on. I love me some black slickness. On the undercard, I'll admit, I didn't get to see some of the Wales card because I got into the fit and I was absolutely exhausted and I fell asleep at about 8 o'clock, so I missed everything. And I woke up at 1:30 and the Wilder card was on, so I stuck that on. I got to see this fight, Diaz v Sammy Vasquez, and I was quite high on Sammy Vasquez. I actually thought he was decent, and I thought, like, I was shocked that he dodged Spence. I thought that would be a good fight, but a right tough fight for Spence because I think like, Sammy Vasquez would have been better than Algieri because he looks a bit tougher. But we've seen it the weekend. I mean, Diaz is no fucking great shakes. I know like, some people had him losing to winning against Peterson, but fuck, he was giving. Either Vasquez has got absolutely no power or this cunt's got some chin because he just walked through absolutely everything and he just kept haring right at him and just wearing them down. And their scorecards were abysmal. I'm lucky if I gave fucking Vasquez a few rounds there, but they scorecards like the weekend, and I knew. I tweeted. I was like, this looks as if he's going to get an off Peterson here. He's going to get shafted. And see when the draw came in, I was like, I fucking knew it. But fair play to them. They went back, they counted it, they got the result. It was a decent fight. Shep, did you watch this?
Yeah, I watched that one. Enjoyed it. It's on Twitter, so it's not me going after the fact. But Ainsley put some money on this, and I'd said beforehand that I think Diaz was between 5-1 and 7-1 in the UK, which is absurd odds. You know, it was a 50-50 fight really. And I thought, I mean, I probably would have picked Vasquez, but also, you know, we said that the value on Diaz was ridiculous. And yeah, I think I gave Vasquez 2 rounds. Thought the point deduction was actually quite harsh, ironically, considering that's what gave him the win. But obviously, I'm glad he got the win because I thought he beat Peterson as well. And yeah, there are plenty of guys saying over the weekend, it's a shame that PBC have sort of tried to sacrifice him a couple of times because he's a guy, you know, he's a gold medalist with quite an exciting style who's got a really good personal story. And I think Charles was saying, friend of the pod, was saying if they'd let him beat Peterson and not robbed him and then given him the win last night by the margin he deserved, you know, they could have a really marketable fighter on their hands. But
who did he win a gold for?
What's his country again? I want to say Bermuda. It's not Bermuda.
Was it Dominican?
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, a Caribbean island anyway, one of them. And yeah, he won a gold for them, and he's a good sort of. He's really good on the inside. Very.
Is he the one that's trained with Juan Guzman?
Yeah, trained with him. His trainer is that one with the Diaz.
So it will be fucking. It will be Dominican Republic then if Johan Guzman fucking is floating about there.
I think it is, and yeah, I was quite impressed with Diaz. But you know, you fully expect now. Danny Garcia was commentating, and they even said after the fight, they went, "Oh, would you like to have a go at Vasquez?" And Garcia said, like, "Yeah, regardless of the result, I think that's a good fight." Like, having just watched the guy get quite badly exposed, Garcia was calling for the fight with him. It was a bit transparent, really. I don't think you'll see. It's a shame. I don't think Diaz will get the chances he deserves, or if or he won't get a level playing field if he does. But he's a good fighter. I think he could give a lot of people trouble. And yeah, I think I had it 98-92 or whatever, or 98-91 actually with the point deduction. So yeah, a very, very dominant win, and well done to Ainsley on betting that. I think he got 6-1 on it. So yeah, hats off to him.
Peterson's not fought since that fight either. I fucking him and doing absolutely everything now.
Yeah, why did they? I don't understand the point of that, because Peterson's not marketable and Peterson's coming to the end of his career. So why did they have to sacrifice a young guy, to keep Peterson going? I don't understand what, unless he's going to be like Floyd's comeback opponent or something stupid like that.
Who?
Peterson. I mean, what's the point of why are they sacrificing much younger guys?
No,
to keep Peterson.
Diaz is the same age as Peterson. Diaz is 32.
Yeah, but Diaz is very young in his career, isn't he? Peterson's been in a lot of hard fights. I think Peterson's slowing down. Yeah, Diaz is quite old. You're right, and I think he's boxed amateur for a long time, and was in his mid-20s when he was at the Olympics. But no, he's a good fighter. I think he's only had like a dozen fights, but he's a bit like Lara. He's ready to go. You can see that he's ready for the highest level.
He's not big for a welterweight, 5'5", man. I knew that at the weekend. I was like, he's fucking tiny.
He looks like Curtis Stevens. He's really stocky.
Aye.
But no, he's a good fighter, and I'd like to see him again. Be a good opponent for someone like Garcia or someone like Berto, I suppose. That wouldn't be a bad fight. I just want him to get a fair shake, to be honest.
Yeah, Berto think it's brought up all the time, like he'd be a good fight, but I think Berto would be a good fight with MD. He's like competitive, but he's never going to fucking win. But he would make a decent fight. He would, other than Floyd, right enough, that was a fucking stinker. But he's a sort of kind of he would get in his sword, out his shield. Sorry, aye. Did any of you see this fight? No, this is kind of dragging on a bit. We sound pure bored as fuck.
I didn't watch this one. I past this one.
You didn't? It was the best one, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, but I knew what happened, so I wasn't interested. I knew what happened in Lubin fight, but I wanted to watch him.
You wanted to see Arreola, didn't you?
I love his nipples.
Carpi picked Arreola, everyone, in case you were wondering.
I didn't, so.
He said, quote, he's gonna old man. Wild.
No, I did what you did. I said I wouldn't be surprised if Arreola won, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Wilder won.
I would have
just covering myself just in case.
Oh man, he was so bad. I watched that a couple of hours ago. Yeah, sorry.
Press pass, if you're listening to this, I want that ticket, you big lanky spastic. Just for some reason his fucking face popped into my head, so if you're listening to this, lanky spastic, I want the ticket. Wilder, Arreola. For some reason, like, people fucking were getting at me as if like, I was shitting on Wilder, but it wasn't. You it wasn't. It's just that I was maybe giving like Femi more credit than Wilder, but it's not the case. Like, it wasn't a great fight to watch. It was fucking so one-sided. It was just basically like Wilder like, jabbing and throwing the odd fucking punch here or there. Arreola doing nothing. I'm pretty sure the first round consisted of Arreola not even throwing a punch.
Yeah,
and he just kind of shelled up.
Wilder was just like messing around, wasn't he? It was ridiculous. Like, do we think Arreola would have beaten? I was watching it and I thought, does anyone think Arreola would have beaten Spilker or Duhaupas or any of that? Because I think that's his worst opponent as a champion to date. Arreola was.
Spilker would fuck Arreola up.
Yeah,
Spilker's a tough guy.
Spilker would smash him. Yeah, I agree.
Spilker was giving Wilder problems to start with.
What about Charles Martin versus Arreola?
Arreola would beat Charles Martin.
He'd ice him, right?
Ice him in a round.
I think Brazil would beat Arreola quite handily.
I'm not having that. That'd be a really competitive fight. Brazil couldn't barely beat Fred Kasich.
Well, yeah.
See that with Charles.
And what's the other one? The one who bit through his tongue. What's his name?
Amir Mansour.
Mansour, yeah. He barely beat Mansour. He's not. Arreola's about that level. He's not steamrolling him anyway.
Arreola drew to fucking Cassie as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
And Cassie should have won that fight as well. That was a bit of a dodgy decision. He was so bad.
What's the point in comparing these guys though? They're an absolute embarrassment. All these people are fighting for fucking heavyweight championships of the world. What's the point in comparing them? They're all shit, and we don't want to see them ever again.
See Charles Martin. Charles Martin's a heavyweight version of like Rod Salkin. He's never going to get rid of that tag now. Everybody's just going to laugh at him. He's an absolute fucking joke. He is the new Audley Harrison. That is exactly what he is. He is just an absolute fucking joke figure of boxing. I cannot believe this big fucking lump of shite Dahmer here had the brass neck to sit in front of Johnny Nelson, royalty Johnny Nelson, Johnny the entertaining Nelson, and had the audacity to say in front of thousands of people, I walk this earth like a god, and he walks down to the ring with fucking cycling shorts on, with a crown, and gets his head fucking caved right in. What a big fucking lump of fucking shite. And see you, Femi, you big junky bastard. Can't he wait till you fucking...
Brian, when he said he walks the earth like a god, he did mean the Buddha, though.
See, like, people were asking me about like Wilder and Femi, like, who do you think could win? And I was like, I think that's really a toss-up. I know people are like, Joshua's got the power, but see, at the same time, so has Wilder. And Joshua's not going to just come forward all the time when Wilder's throwing that jab. And as much as like Wilder's shite, his jab is decent. His jab constantly connects. And I said that this fight could turn into an absolute stinker. It could be like a Lewis, Henry Akinwande, where it's just the two people don't want to do nothing. Well, obviously Lewis did. Obviously Lewis wanted to kill him, but it turned into a right bad fight where it would maybe just be the battle of the jabs, because as much as the people are high on Joshua, he's not getting really much punch variation either. We all know what he's going to do. And like people come turn and say, oh, his check hook was amazing against Brazil. I can tell you right now, I could fucking check hook Brazil. He's shit. It's easy doing a check hook against somebody that's not throwing nothing back. It's like
I thought Wilder's variety when he was down to just his left hand was half decent. He was throwing uppercuts with it. He was jabbing. His jab looked good as well. He is improving. He's getting better. He's getting better slowly.
Wilder's hands are not the problem, though. It's his fucking feet. We all know he can punch. It's just he looks like it's such a messy sod when he does it. His feet, are like someone else's when he's throwing his punches.
You know what? His feet reminds me of what I'm going to be like in Ibiza. Wasted.
There's something about people that are that tall and that skinny legged. You just think one shot and they're not getting back up. And
the press pass Paul.
I know people say that he took a few shots off Stavern. Stavern couldn't be arsed that night. I don't know what we're fucking up with.
He did take a few on Saturday though, Cal. I know Arreola.
Yeah, but Arreola's got power for about half a round.
Yeah.
So I could take a shot off Arreola in the 8th round.
Yeah, literally, like his trainer was like, right, Chris, you've got 2 rounds to win this fight, or we're fucked.
His arms don't move. He's so fucking fat and slow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Funny. I quite like Wilder in terms of like the whole fucking story and that, but it is a bit of a fucking con that he's a world champion. And I don't know. Until he fights someone, we can't say. But when people were picking against Povetkin, I was just like, what on earth have you watched to think that he beats Povetkin? Especially Povetkin now he's on the roids. Like, zero chance.
I think the problem is, like, he's out for the rest of the year now, isn't he, with that bicep injury? So he's out for the rest of the year. Yeah. Fury and Klitschko aren't going to fight until right at the end of the year. Joshua's not going to fight anyone of note. So we're going to go at least another year probably before we have a proper unification. And it's just going to be more treading water, wasting time, shitty opponents, shitty defenses. Joshua and Wilder are never going to fight each other. Like, that will never happen. Unless Wilder looks abysmal, or and then Hearn will break the bank to get him over. But it's just a shame because these fights just waste time. That's all they do. And we learned nothing last night, on Saturday night. Wilder learned nothing. Arreola learned nothing. You could see from the way he went into the ring, he knew he couldn't win. Like, he said it in the conferences beforehand. He was like, I don't deserve this fight, but it got offered to me, so I took it. He knew he wasn't going to win. Everyone in the crowd knew it. Wilder was laughing, like, throughout the fight. He was just laughing. Do you remember him against Stefan? He was so, like, focused, So he was so in the zone for that fight, to his credit. But against Wilder, he was doing that Broner, like, humping thing every fucking...
that was quite funny.
He did that like 4 times. I thought he did
He's got good fucking hip movement, though. He was grinding that.
He's a good ballroom dancer, you can tell.
Aye. He's better than Froch. Froch was playing a pipe.
Yeah, but Froch has got a higher net worth, though.
Yeah, what's your income?
But the main thing is now, though, I think people have given Wilder, somehow, people are giving him credit for saying that he'd take the Povetkin fight. Well, he didn't fucking fight him, so I couldn't give a shit.
Yeah, literally, the Americans were giving him
so why are they giving him credit? Like saying he can have a few soft touches now?
it, and it was like, what? He's a mandatory challenger, and you're giving him credit for defending his belt. Like, they give him more credit than if he'd actually won the fucking fight. That shows how low the standards are, especially in America.
And then
Their
they're
standards
accepting.
are so low.
They're accepting Arreola as well. Well, he did get done for drugs his last opponent, so give him a tick over. He's had fucking 36 tick overs.
Yeah.
But don't fucking give me Arreola.
And so I heard someone say, "Oh, he deserves a homecoming fight." And it was like, he had a homecoming fight like 9 months ago. For fuck's sake.
I hate that.
Ridiculous. They are so desperate to make excuses for him, honestly. But yeah.
Lads, what do we think? What do we think of the chances of? I think Bermain Stavern is number 2 in the WBC rankings. Joshua is obviously not ranked. If Wilder's going to be out until March or April with his injuries, what do we think of the chances of them trying to make some sort of interim WBC title fight between Joshua and Stavern? I won't put it past them. I don't think it'll happen, but I won't put it past them.
Is Joshua still highly ranked with the WBC?
Well, he's not ranked with the WBC because he's got another belt.
Well, they'll do an interim with Povetkin.
Behind Povetkin.
Yeah, surely they would.
What, so do like what they did with Golovkin? Was it Golovkin-Lemieux, and then the winner fought? It makes sense, but the problem with the Wilder-Joshua fight is Joshua can earn fucking shitloads fighting people with no chance. In the UK, he'll need that to be at least double what he can get to fight a Brazil. And I don't know if are people that bothered about Wilder in America. I know people in Alabama are, but he's not pay-per-view, is he?
He's not, but I think compared to the average PBC guy, he actually does draw a few thousand. I mean, they said they got 10,000 in there. I don't think it was quite 10,000, maybe about 8,000 it looked like. And they were so, like the Americans were just so fucking over the moon with that. He draws 8,000, and it's like, Joshua could draw 8,000 for a fucking...
Ricky Burns fucking drew 8,000. Yeah.
But, like, honestly, Tommy Coyle gets 8,000 for a weigh-in over here. It's ridiculous. Like,
I'm pretty sure they charge about $20 as well.
Yeah, but...
Like, here you
exactly, and I'm sure they comped half the teams. We know they did. But, like, the idea that a guy who sells 10... And they'll use that as an excuse now. They'll say, well, he sells 10,000, so, why should he have to travel? And it's like, for fuck's sake, Fury could sell... Fury was selling 10,000 against, like, Christian Hammer. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. The levels of it. Wilder has to travel, I think, either to Russia or to the UK. And I'm sure they'll realise that at some stage. And I imagine he'll fight Joshua and get cashed out. But maybe not for sort of 18 months, which is a real shame, because they're both... Wilder's not getting any younger.
I don't think that's even a cash-out fight. He can beat Joshua. It's not like he's going over with no hope like Charles Martin or Brazil. He could beat him.
If he said tomorrow, I'll fight Joshua in, I don't know, in the O2 in December, and my purse is £2 million. Do you think Hearn would take it?
Oh yeah.
Really? He wouldn't think it was too much of a risk for Joshua?
Well,
I think they'd take it because Wilder's beatable. But at the same time, Wilder can beat Femi. It just depends.
But maybe they could do the white rematch for the same money.
I don't see it. Do you see it as a 50-50, Carp? I don't see it as a 50-50 at all. I think Wilder were getting fucking done off Spilker. And
I don't see it as a 50-50.
I think it's a 60-40 Joshua.
I don't think
like
so.
80-20.
No,
I don't even think Femi's that good.
Spilker's like a totally different fucking fighter to like Joshua. Joshua's just going to stand in front of him. Spilker's a bit like Jennings, where he's a bit smaller, he's going to be bobbing and weaving, and he's just fucking darting in. Femi's exactly like Wilder, where they're going to fucking work off their jab and they're just going to be right in front of you. Joshua, Wilder's got far better movement than Joshua, and Wilder's movement shit.
Do you know what? Actually, Jennings Wilder will be a good fight.
Jennings Femi would be a good fight. Jennings Femi would be a good fight.
Yeah, but no, Jennings. I think he's so small next to Joshua. Honestly, he's basically the size of a cruiserweight. Jennings. Honestly, he's just not that big.
Well, he give Vlad trouble.
Well, did he? But we said that before, didn't we? Is that Vlad being over the hill, or is that?
Well, it depends how you look at it, doesn't it? But
yeah.
I mean,
I look at it the right way.
King Kong smashed him.
Well, exactly,
I thought he was coming on all right in that fight until he got smashed.
Yeah, he was. He won a couple of rounds. Yeah, definitely.
He was getting into it when King Kong looked a bit tired, and then he just come out with some ridiculous combo. So.
Yeah, he just smashed him with that uppercut, didn't he? Yeah.
Anyway, I think a lot of people be unfair to Wilder, especially on this side of the country, or this side of the pond even. They just look at him and go, shit, he's American as shit. He's not that bad. Compared to what's fucking around now, he's not like Mike Tyson, or he's not Muhammad Ali. But
Tyson's the greatest of all time.
if you compare him to what's around now, he's not that bad.
Well, I said
he's top 5, isn't he? I think we can agree.
This basically falls like under what I was talking to Gabe Montoya earlier about. It doesn't matter what Regan Dow does. People's got that mindset now that he's boring. You know how like Sam Allardyce, he's a born football player, he's fit as born and that. It doesn't matter if he plays like fucking Arsenal type football or Barcelona or something. They'll still turn around and bone because they've got that mindset now. This is exactly like Wilder. Wilder can't do any right for doing wrong. It doesn't matter what he does. People are always going to shout on him. I mean, the opponent was absolutely fucking garbage, but he didn't look fucking terrible with somebody with one arm. And I'm more confident now. I was less confident before. Arreola shite, right? I don't want people to jump down before. I'm more confident now that Wilder will give fucking Josh a fight than I was a while back. I really do think it's a lot fucking closer than people think. John,
I agree with you. I agree with you completely. What you said. I was giving Wilder less of a chance before the Arreola fight, even though Arreola's shit. What he did with one arm, it impressed me.
See, what's Joshua going to do? He's going to fucking throw that jab right. Miss Wilder's fucking punch. He's going to throw that overhand right. Like that.
If it clocks him, he's
right.
going to sleep.
And Joshua can throw his overhand right. So it's just this could be literally one of the fights. It's who's fucking landing first. The people saying I want to see people's chins get tested, and I argue at this point that's totally bullshit.
I was talking to Ainsley earlier on because we both quite like Wilder, and we agreed. Well, we think it's like a pick'em fight. I'd give Joshua the edge. But I wouldn't be confident in picking him. I would just say it's whoever lands first for me. It's that.
I think Wilder's a bigger puncher than Joshua.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, I agree. Single shots, I agree.
Well, he only needs to box well for one exchange to change a fight.
Like that punch Joshua was sick.
Yeah, if Wilder hits Joshua with the straight right, clean, then Joshua will go. But equally, I think Wilder won't have fought anyone anywhere near as strong as Joshua. So it's there's a lot you're going to find out about both guys. Do you know what I mean? It could be the sort of fight where it's an absolute war and both guys come out of it with a huge amount of credit. Do you know what I mean? A bit like the White fight to an extent. You never know. I mean, Wilder might take a punch and then get back up, or vice versa.
That fight would do massive numbers here because
Martin and Brazil. That's a Wembley fight.
Yeah, Martin and Brazil could hardly string a fucking sentence together when they were trying to sell it. And Wilder's got a good story. He's quite charismatic. He's another he's another dog pound 6'6", big bastard. So
speaks really well. Wilder speaks really well. Wilder would actually be decent on the gloves are off. Do you know what I mean? He can actually talk. He can actually talk trash. And he might be able to wind up.
And he shouts a catchphrase, and the casuals love that.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a catchphrase.
See, Wilder is he chats shit, but never but swears or anything like that. He's like a pure God-loving person, but he's quite good with the way he words his phrases.
But he don't slag fighters either, which I in the age where in England everything's got to be like WWE.
I mean,
he never really goes for people. He's always like, I respect him, but I think I'd beat him. It's never like they're fucking bums.
I don't get why.
Do you know when he fought Spitka and they had a press conference or something on Fight Week, and they both absolutely tore shreds out of each other. That's we separated.
That's because Spilska's one of Russia's ultras, isn't he? Same with Ainsley,
Spilska's a football hooligan.
He's with Ainsley on the front line.
That's
how Ainsley got into boxing. He met Spilka when he was firming up in with his ultras.
There was a Polish guy for the Glasgow office working for us a couple of weeks back. And he was working with my mate, and I kept firing. Obviously, see when you hear Polish and all, and they're like, he's into MMA. I was like, well, he must know fucking boxers and all that. So obviously, because my office is full of casuals, man, my ears pricked up, and I'm like loving it. So I started rhyming off funnels of boxers, and I think he was quite high on Adamic for some reason. Polish must have been right high on him. But see when I said Spilska, he's like, oh, he naughty man, he is naughty. So I was like, but football hooligan, he's like, yes, he is bad man. So he must have been a right cunt.
Yeah, he was. So he was getting, I think he got found by a boxing agent when he was like being dragged out of a football stadium, sort of covered in blood, and yeah, has sort of routinely goes to all of his tattoos are like gang. Like Polish ultra tattoos.
That's mine. I've got ultraviolet tears on my eyes, so people don't know how many people I've killed and raped and nonced. So let's see with Wilder. See when Fury got into the ring and was losing the fucking plot and all that, and he's like, "Don't you worry, you'll get baptized." People were shitting on him for that, and I thought that was hilarious. I thought that's fucking magic. You will get baptized. I was like, that is the most unthreatening way to be threatening, and I actually quite liked it. Wilder's a fucking good shit talker. I mean, imagine him v Fury. How fucking
they've done it before. They was in the ring after some Hennessy show, weren't they, together?
Yeah, it was after Galahad Dickens.
Yeah, they was both spouting off shit. It was brilliant.
Aye, it's good. Like, I mean, like, the face-off between him and Femi will be a case of, I'm just a humble guy. I hope you do well, Wilder, but I hope I win on the night. You know,
I really respect you.
Yeah. I really respect you, and Stormzy, respect, and then Wilder, like, God love you, and Femi would probably drag him down to his level where they would just be so nice. Where there's, let's see if it's Fury. Fury's a bit like Groves, isn't he? Where he just says anything and it just gets in fucking heats where it will just annoy people. So I said on Sunday that I think Wilder should try and get the Joshua fight as soon as possible, because Joshua's only going to get better, as we maybe believe. Maybe he's plateaued and that's how he's good is, but just for the sake, for a heavyweight being at his age, you've got to think that he's going to get better. So I think Wilder should try and get him as soon as possible, and I think, look, with the money, I can't see Heyman putting that on pay-per-view unless like Joshua gets built up over until the new year, where the Americans know him enough that they'll buy pay-per-view. So I think there's a good chance I think they would rather take the Fury fight, like Joshua, and that, before they would take Wilder, because I think that's maybe a bigger money fight, because Brits all love the Brit v Brit, the domestic. But
would Hearn see Wilder or Fury as the easier opponent, or the lower risk opponent?
I think they would maybe see Fury as the lower risk, but not as in like lower risk that he'll win it. It's maybe a lower risk where it's like, you know how when you fight Floyd, where it was a case of like, who would you rather fight, Floyd or Manny? You'd be like, well, if I fight Floyd, I know I'm going to lose, but I'm going to get paid and I'm not going to be fucking wrecked after it. Whereas if you fought Manny, you would get your shit punched in and it might fucking ruin you. It's a case of that where like Joshua, like Wilder could end up ruining your career, whereas like Fury will just maybe give you 12-round pasting. There you go, shoehorned in Floyd again. Don't worry, I'll be getting Ricky Burns later on. Woo!
You've already got Ricky Burns in. You said he draws a crowd of 8,000.
That's what I forgot, man. I'm just kind of starting
now you've got to get Ronaldo, and you've got your Holy Trinity in you.
Don't you worry. We'll slag that wee fucking fake Ronaldo and all the wee noncy bastard. That's Chandra. Right, so who would you all pick now if Wilder fought?
Joshua, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Wilder won, or if it was a draw, or if the fight was cancelled.
I would. If I was putting money on it, I would lean towards Joshua, but it wouldn't be a confident pick at all.
Yeah, I mean, Sam, genuinely, we can, hand on heart, say, I picked Joshua, but I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if Wilder hurt him and knocked him out.
In this instance, I completely agree with you. There's
a real chance that either guy could win. I think it would be a great fight.
I'll make my point.
Sorry, Brad, before you go, sorry. Whereas, Sam, to compare that, Wilder versus Fury, I would be very confident Fury would beat him. Very, very confident.
Same.
And I would be surprised if Wilder chinned Fury. But Joshua, I think is a real close one. Sorry, Brian, go.
I don't even know what I'm saying there.
I think it'd be a no contest. I think we'd have Fan Man 2, but the Fan Man will be Crawford because he won't want anyone else to fight at Wembley.
What, he just come down with a massive like sign saying "What's your income?"
My brother's off the drink.
He just uses his nose as a parachute.
Big nose bastard. Blocked me for fucking asking him why is it so cold in Joe's shadow. Blocked. I know people think I hate on Joshua and it's because of hair, and it's no. I just can't deal with the hype, and I just I want Joshua to be the real deal. As much as that I would hate him making all that money, it would be fucking great, because if he is the real deal, you've got something that you might be able to eventually get behind. See if he started coming out of shell. I think if Joshua eventually got so big where it didn't matter with the endorsements and all that, where he wasn't like a fucking Uncle Tom, where it didn't matter because he was making that much money, he would come out of shell and start acting himself. But I just want him to prove that the hype's real. And if he is, I'll get behind him. And if he's no, then I'll laugh at him. And I'm not picking Wilder because I hate Joshua. I want Joshua to be the fucking real deal. How good would it be to have like this fucking undisputed heavyweight champion of the world out here?
We've got one at the minute.
Well, true. I've just really had a casual moment, haven't I? I'm going to fucking edit that. I'm totally embarrassed. But anyway, fuck. I've just had a howler. Let's move on.
Carl, what do you think, mate? Because you don't think the same as us, do you?
No, I think Joshua would fucking beat him easily.
Casual.
I think Wilder's shy. I don't think Joshua's that good. I think Fury would school them both, but I think Klitschko would still knock them both out, but I just don't see it with Wilder. I've never been impressed with him. His best performance was fucking when he was windmilling Audley Harrison. Best thing he's ever done.
Forgot about that. That was
I mean, I find with Wilder, there's the occasional like nice moment in his fight, but I've never seen a performance of his where you're just impressed with everything. Like, he was landing some nice combinations on Arreola, but then he was still at times missing badly against a guy who was just like, imagine what Joshua would do to Arreola. Do you know what I mean?
I think
he shouldn't be fighting at all.
The Ortiz, I think he'd play with fucking Wilder.
Ortiz would beat all of them. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
See the thing with that?
Ortiz.
See that lot
Fury.
Joshua would do this and Joshua would like do that. Like, it's like people judge fighters sometimes because of how quickly they get rid of somebody. Like Joshua's more aggressive fighter than, let's say, like Fury, Wilder, like Vladimir. He's more aggressive because he's fighting shite, but he's more aggressive fighter, so naturally he's going to get rid of people quicker. See this, like, that's Hearn. Hearn does that all the time. See when somebody like fucking, just for saying say, like, somebody goes 12 rounds with him, he'll deliberately go and get that guy so his boy can try and fucking knock him out quicker, then make out he's like a better fighter.
It's a casual triangle theory, though, isn't it? They love it.
Exactly.
They go wild
I fucking
for,
hate
it took someone 10 rounds. Joshua did it in 3.
How good would it be, like all the casuals are on the motorway driving to like the Golovkin fight, and like a car smashes into an Orcam, goes on fire, and it was right next to like a fucking oil tanker and all, and it just explodes and just burns the motorway, and like all the casuals die. How'd you think of that?
Well, you'd be in a crash after what you said earlier on.
No, I don't. No, I'd be getting the plane unless like, it blew up that much, it hits the plane, and then I blow up or no, and then it drives into O2 and blows that up, and it's just a chain of events.
You've done this card to death anyway. Let's move on to Wales.
I'll fucking
Final Destination, right?
Aye, that's what I did do. Let's move on to the Wales card. Dewey, you were at it live. We'll not talk to Sam. He's a prick.
Yes.
How was the atmosphere? Like, it seemed as if like when Rigo was coming on, it sounded quite quiet.
Well, it was. I think people in Wales have quite enjoyed having Rigo here, but I think people were just enjoying his performance and just waiting for him to actually do something. There wasn't a lot to actually cheer, wasn't there? And I can't imagine many Welsh people know many Rogondo songs to sing either. But I just think people were just enjoying it, waiting to enjoy his performance. And obviously, it was a bit underwhelming, wasn't it, the way it ended? But there wasn't really any boos when it ended. I just think people enjoyed having him here, and I think we'd enjoy having him back as well.
It was a perfect punch. It was an absolute peach punch.
Oh,
just
it was.
It was his full body weight.
Dickens did really well not to sort of buckle or go down. I thought like it was a perfect shot. And to be fair, like he hit it pretty well, but his jaw had gone. But yeah, as soon as he sat in the corner, his corner looked at him, didn't they, and immediately said, "Okay, yeah, that's done." Like,
he looked like he just dropped a few pills because he was gurning massively with that broken jaw.
Looked like he had a club stopper.
But look, respect to him for taking the fight. In any case, like I don't think, I think he was going to lose. I thought he lost both rounds, but the guy, I wouldn't. If they did a rematch, that's fine. No one else will fight Rigo. Like,
he wasn't great, was he, Jazza, at all? He's come out of it with a lot of credit.
Yeah.
Especially because as soon as he got cracked, he had a bit of a go for about 30 seconds, and then I think he would have been in shock. That said, during that period, and then maybe felt the pain after because that was quite early in the round. But Jazza's come out with it with all the credit in the world. I think.
I agree.
He couldn't have had. Go on.
Sorry, I don't understand how he could though. Like, I'm pretty harsh on boxers, right? But I'm not one of these people like to see people in a fucking bad way. But come on, like, could they have not easily just turned around and say, put me out for another round to see how I go with this broken jaw? Like, as I've said, Ricky Burns went fucking like the best part of 10 rounds with broken jaw. Even Quigg refused to quit. We've got. I know these are world title fights and they've got something to fight for, but at the same time. Could you not fucking at least win one round? Like, was Abraham's jaw not fucking literally hanging off his face when he was fighting?
And his corner were begging him. I actually watched that fight quite recently, the Miranda one, right? And between rounds, he was like, you could hear him like wailing, like, oh, like he was in so much pain, and his corner were just screaming at him, you can't quit, you can't quit. But Dickens' trainer, as soon as he sat down, he went, don't worry about it, took his gum shield out and went, we'll get him. He said, we'll get him again. So maybe there's a possibility of a rematch or something. I don't know.
But next year when Rico's 42.
Well, Rigo said he's coming back in September. Maybe Dickens is all right by Christmas. Have a fight then. I don't know.
Do you not think Jazza knew he was on like hiding to nothing anyway? Because he was never going to beat Rigo, was he? He was just going to take more damage to the duel.
Yeah, but he looked like he wanted to carry on. But it was his corner saying, like, calming him down and saying, no, like, stop. That's enough for today. We can have another go another time. It looked to me like it was the corner rather than him who.
Ortiz's fucking jaw was in a worse condition, and he get called a quitter cause it, and his jaw was fucking broken all sorts of places.
Well, that was much closer to the end of the fight against a guy who didn't punch as hard.
But it was a mess.
Yeah, he was a mess, but Josecito's not a big puncher, whereas Rigo is a huge puncher. Especially, like Barry Jones kept saying, wasn't it? He said, Rigo's not he's not Leo Santa Cruz. He doesn't throw 100 punches and land 10 of them. Like, he lands about 60% of what he throws, and he throws massive single shots. And he would have just cracked Dickens again and again and again on that exact spot. And that's his money punch, wasn't it? The big left hand.
I mean, I'm going to sound like a hipster here, like defending Rigo here, but he didn't throw a lot of punches. But see what I liked about him is he was always in the pocket. He was never moving away, no doing like a Lara. He was always in the pocket. He made Jazza miss so many punches, and I'm not saying that Jazza's like fucking Cal Frampton here, but he made Jazza look fucking ordinary as fuck. And Alex is saying Jazza was doing all right. I was like, no, he wasn't. I was like,
no, he was trying.
What we meant by Jazza was doing all right is he didn't shit his pants and.
Well, true.
He was trying to win.
I'm being really fucking harsh on Jazza here. Yeah, I fucking know him, but I'm the host and I'm here to fucking spark up debate. So I liked what Rigo was doing. Like, it was just maybe he was like fainting too much and not throwing enough punches. But sometimes I can go that. It only went 2 rounds, so I maybe would have got pissed off after about 4 or 5 rounds now. But see the way he was just kind of fainting, and then he was just pulling his head backwards and moving. He done that right, and Jazza threw about 3 or 4 punches, and he just kept moving his head away like that. I was like, oh, that's fucking sexy. That's fucking sexy. And then just all of a sudden he just unleashed that fucking bomb. And
one thing though, Brian, I think I don't know if I'm being a bit deluded, but when Rigo has been in stinkers before, it's usually the opponent has been just as happy to have a stinker. When someone stands quite close to him, that's when we do see a bit better of him.
I said that to Gabe Montoya. I was like, what people don't understand is his opponents seem happy to just coast the 12 rounds and not engage with him. I was like, and I know he's the talented fighter in there, so he should pursue it a bit more. But at the same time, Jazza was tailor-made for him because he was going to come at him, and I think Quigg is perfect for him. Quigg will not take that fight. I wouldn't mind seeing the Donnie Earth rematch because I think the two of them are on the slide that much. It'd be fucking a better fight. But Quigg would be absolutely fucking perfect for him because Quigg can't box, so he's going to need to come forward, and Rigo will just counter that fucker. And I can't remember where it was. I'm pretty sure it was like Steve Kim that says Rigo got the reputation of what he did because of that Agbeko fight, was it? And it was see Rigo's manager at the time, that Irish boy. He Gary Hightail, Adam, do not get Agbeko for him. It will not be a good fight. It will fucking look terrible. Don't get him. Get him somebody else. I'll get him somebody else. No, get the Agbeko fight. Agbeko, as soon as he get cracked, he didn't want to engage with him. And he just fucking made the fight terrible. And that is where the reputation came from. He's the sort of guy that you're only going to get what you get from him. He's not going to change his style. So you need to get guys that maybe... Look at Amagasa. He was a big monster. And he came forward to him, and it was one of the fucking best fights of the year, I think. That was a great fight.
It is a good fight, that. I was watching it on YouTube the other day.
It was great, man.
I was watching quite a bit of Rigo on Friday night because I was going on the Saturday. I watched the Tion Kennedy fight as well, which is good. The only proper stinker is the one on the Cotto Canelo undercard, which was fucking atrocious, and the Agbeko fight.
I think on the Cotto Canelo undercard, Rigo landed something like 71 punches in 10 rounds.
That's
he only threw about 70.
Yeah, he probably threw.
He
probably only threw 120, didn't he? Like,
yeah.
It would have been something mad like that. I remember the Agbeko fight was a disgrace, and Agbeko gets no criticism for that, but he just made no attempt to win. You know, if a guy's gonna, and Dahmer didn't try and win either after about 3 rounds. They were just trying to survive and hope that Rigo would make a stupid mistake and they could throw a counterpunch, but he never does.
Rigo doesn't get away for this though, because the guy's got serious power. I've always said that he's the biggest puncher, even with Dahmer with his hook, right? Rigo is the biggest puncher in the division, and maybe boxers get in there, they don't expect him to punch so hard, and they know they're never ever going to outbox him, so their best way is to actually flatten him. And as soon as they get touched with him and they feel his power, they're like, he's not only one of the best boxers on the planet, he can seriously knock me out, and they're just going to fucking backtrack. So Rock Nation going to need to do some bit of a job here. It would be good here if like Warren done like a Tete and got Rigo. Because people would turn up for Rigo, I'm fucking telling you, see if
well, they did. They did on Saturday. I'm
gutted I didn't go to Wales, because I like Wales, man. Wales is a right good weekend, and I'm gutted I didn't get to see him. But I'm hoping that he comes back here, and I know they say September the 17th, but I'll still be full of fucking pills in Ibiza, so I'll not be able to go to that. I'm just hoping that they kind of drag him back. Like I said on the WhatsApp chat, I'm not going to try to make out as if I know much about Tete. I've only ever seen him once, and that was when I seen him live. And when I watched it live, I says Paul Butler had won near enough every round. When he'd actually lost every round, that just shows how wrecked I was. So, and I seen him knock out Paul Butler, but everybody thinks that that'll be a right good fight. So it'd be good if maybe Warren would try to make that, because Hearn's no intentions of putting McDonald in with Tete, and unless McDonald wants to fight Rigo. I mean, that would be good, like a co-main or something like that, wouldn't it? Co-main, or maybe in a pay-per-view or something like that, like Jamie McDonald versus fucking Rigo. I don't know.
Do you know at the press conference on Tuesday, Rigo, he's quite cordial about everyone except Jamie McDonald. It was a bit random because, they asked him about obviously Rigondeaux, Lomachenko, Frampton, Santa Cruz, but McDonald, he looked like almost offended that McDonald wanted to fight him. It was weird. It was he just had this massive stare on him. He wasn't
I love his attitude.
He called Lomachenko a coward as well, didn't he, for moving up in weight?
He said apparently he's always talked, if you like Spanish speakers always say when he was on HBO, the guy would have to just ignore half of what he said, because he'd just be like calling everyone, every name under the sun, and they just have to translate it as being like, yeah, he's a great champion, it's a great fight. And I think Saturday night was the first time when someone's actually translated everything.
No, he's had him a few
everything
times,
that he said.
He's had this one a few times. This bloke's savage, isn't he? You don't edit out any of this shit.
I'll break
any man's jaw, yeah. Any man's get to the plate, I'll break his jaw, I'll rip his jaw off his face. Yeah. Is he a Hannibal or a boxer or something?
But I told you that though, like Nez for the boxing voice says, he's like, he speaks Spanish, he's like, these interpreters aren't telling people what him and Lara are saying. I was like, they are really calling people out and shitting on them. I was like, and they're not fucking telling people what they're actually saying here. He's like, they are really bad bastards. He's like, because Lara's meant to be the exact same, always turning around and saying, I'm going to fucking do this, cunt.
I saw something, Brian. I didn't know if it was like someone trolling or if it was a meme or whatever. But apparently, like Canelo said about Golovkin after the Khan fight that he could suck his dick, and obviously they didn't. They did, the translator didn't say that.
He said, didn't he say something about He said,
Kel Brook would have won
I'm
the
Mexican,
Canelo
I have
fight.
balls. And then Kellerman said, what about Golovkin? And he said, he can feel my balls if he wants. Or something like that. It was really
Mexicans don't fuck around.
Yeah. No, he definitely said something about Golovkin touching his balls. I remember that really. And Kellerman tried to ignore it and talk over it. He can come in the ring right now and touch my balls.
Kel Brook probably gets that interview on his fucking 60-inch screen TV and just licks the fucking screen when they're saying that. Lick my balls.
Brooke heard that interview and then thought, oh, Golovkin likes touching lads' balls. All right, Eddie, get me the fight. That's what happened.
Canelo's been slagging Golovkin today at the press conference, saying how embarrassing it is to fight Cal Brook, bearing in mind that his last fight was against Amir Khan and this one's against the third best Smith brother.
Kel Brook would ruin Liam Smith.
Oh yeah, easily. Wouldn't even be a fight. Liam Smith's terrible.
Ainsley's buzzing if he's listening to this now.
I'm not phoning up, man. Then Amir Khan, I'm phoning up.
What do we think about, speaking of Rigo and that guy who got a photo thinking it was Rigo?
That was funny. That made me laugh because I was chatting to my mate and he went, "Do you reckon anyone?" We seen Fanner because he was stood near us, and he went, "Do you reckon anyone's going to get a photo with him thinking he's Rigo?" And I went, "I doubt it. No one's going to be that stupid." Then obviously the morning after it turns out "Oh, I got a photo with Rigo. Thanks, champ."
I think the guy in his defence said "Yeah, I was pretty drunk," and he did look quite drunk to be fair to him. But he had a hat saying
Fanner, yeah.
Did you see him try and fucking style it out when he was then started asking him for a proper photo of him, saying, "Will you sign a photo for me?" Because Rigo said, "That's not me," and he was like, "Oh shit, yeah. Well, can I get a signed photo?" And Rigo was "Yeah, sure." But fucking hell.
Right, I'll go through some of the card. I'm not going to read it all. Gary Buckling got a win, points against Matty Fagan. Craig Evans got a win, points against Jordan Ellison. Joe Pickford. I mean, as I say, I fell asleep at 8 o'clock, missed this card, and I had to watch it the next morning. So I fell asleep when Tommy Langford was coming in. He got a KO against Tim O'Lane. See that's WBO Intercontinental and WBO European, fucking absolutely bullshit. Bradley Skeet got a fucking 7-round knockout. Alexander Lepe, who did. Is that the guy that DeRocco knocked out?
Yeah, and Burns went to points with.
Where'd you bring that up for, you fucking bum?
Sorry.
But Burns knew he had a fight, and he was just carrying him for 12 rounds, and just so he got a fucking couple of rounds in. Check your facts. Rigo obviously fucking wasted Dickens. Man, Dickens could you know what's good about Dickens' face? It's the opposite side of quick, so you can just mesh the two of their faces together. Shep, you do that later on. You Photoshop their two faces together just so it's a big fucking ball face. And I was totally shocked. I knew nothing about Terry Vlarik and Fee Farner. Right? I knew nothing about this. I've still got the recordings on it. I don't even know if I want to watch it. But the fact that he went fucking 12 rounds with a guy that is about the age of my ma, what a joke. And this was a last minute. Was this not?
It was supposed to be on a Fury card, but obviously they moved it to this.
But was he supposed to fight Fanner on the Fury card as well, or was this the last minute?
Yeah, he was.
That is a joke. That's a joke. How was the fight? Just kind of quickly. Was it shit?
Yeah, it wasn't great at all.
Sam, when you saw Fanner after the fight, did you notice his limp?
Yeah, he was walking funny. He had club foot or something.
Yeah.
You know what was wrong with him?
Polio.
Yeah, I've seen someone say it must have been polio. He's old enough to suffer with it. But it was
polio really these that kids used to get.
Back in the day, yeah. But Fanner's old, isn't he? So. But it was a really scruffy fight because Fanner was coming in with his head down, and then as soon as he came in head down, Flanagan would forearm him or lean on top of him. It's just ugly. He got warned about it in every single round and didn't get a point taken off. Flanagan, I thought that was a bit. He probably should have got one taken off just to try and clean the fight up. But the ref it was awful. There's no way of beating around the bush. It was a horrendous fight. But I think at the same time, can you really get yourself up for a fight like that? Probably not.
Do you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a bit when Clev fought Tommy Carpentry. He's got an opponent there who just does not want to. He doesn't want to get stopped, but he doesn't want to win a single round.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fanner was ducking a lot, wasn't he? And he wasn't really trying to engage. I know what you mean, and especially with Flanagan's not the sort of puncher where wherever he hits you, it's going to sort of concuss you and beat you down. Like, he needs to catch you fairly clean to do any damage, and I think he landed a couple of nice shots. Whenever he landed clean, he hurt him. But
he put him down, didn't he?
Yeah, and he wobbled him a couple of times with those uppercuts, didn't he? But it was hard to land the uppercut because he was ducking so low. It's just a fucking terrible opponent. Like, who chose that as an opponent? Awful. Like, it does nothing for him. He learns nothing from it. It makes him look bad, and the win is completely worthless. Fucking pointless.
They didn't even need to put it on the. Why even put it on the card? Because I didn't see one Terry Flanagan fan there. Not one.
Well, I guess he needs to get him out, doesn't he? And he was meant to be on.
Flanagan paid for 200 of his fans, their tickets and their travel as well.
I didn't see him or hear him.
There was a few behind me. He had a flag, and they all seemed pretty pissed. But yeah.
I was in the cheap seats, man. He might have paid a bit more quality than what I did.
See, like I said, like I think it was last week when I was trying to defend Tern that he's good at getting his guys out, even if it's against fucking shite opponents. It's better to stay busy against shite than no fight at all. And that's kind of rings true with Flanagan. But this fight, see if this was like a kind of a pull out and let you go fan as a last minute opportunity, and you just want him to stay busy, just get him back out there to fight, then understand it. But if it's not a terrible fight in the fucking first place, it done nothing for him. What is he, a lightweight? Is there nobody British level that he could have maybe got a better fighter?
He's just done Derry, isn't he?
Tom Stoker's in the top 15.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Fucking get the captain in there. Get a fucking captain and see where is.
He probably scrape a draw, the captain. He loves a draw, doesn't he?
Is Flanagan with MGM?
No, he's managed by Steve Wood.
Right, I saw you. That's good. I seen I didn't know Jazza was fucking with MGM, man. If Jazza can get a gig there, I'll sure as hell should be able to get a fucking gig. I keep asking him often enough to give me a job. So if Jazza can get a job, I want one. But right, we'll keep you on.
Isn't the whole reason why Rigo came over is because basically MGM sorted him out?
Don't sound too happy about being on here, Alex.
Did he have his camp in MGM?
What, Rigo?
Yeah.
No, apparently I heard that MGM basically paid his fee.
Oh, right.
Who'd you hear that from? Press Pass?
My sources, Pop's sources.
Press Pass is banned from MGM.
I can't remember where I heard it, but it might have been Press Pass. But
You've got good relationships with the MGM lot, Carby.
They love me.
Is that sarcasm?
No, we're good pals, mate. Me and Shamo Mac.
Yeah, they love it when
they get
that's right. The Empire on and then Carp just...
I went in like fucking lead balloon.
Hopefully he didn't hear it, because I quite value my life. So.
He definitely heard it.
Right. Dewey.
Yeah?
You want to tell us what happened in the Williams fight?
Yeah. I thought, on the night, I thought Williams won every round apart from, I think, the 7th, but they were all quite scrappy. Thought the ref was poor throughout. There was a blatant knockdown he missed in the first round. Couldn't have been any cleaner. Numerous headbutts. Both of them broke rules. I thought Corcoran was a bit dirty than Williams, but I thought Liam was a bit more blatant with it. Ref didn't control the fight very well. As for the actual fight, I thought as soon as Williams sort of straightened up his shots, he started making a dent. I think he wobbled Corcoran at the end of the 8th and the end of the 9th, and when he did knock him out, it was with a shot he landed earlier. So I think it was a great, not necessarily Liam's best performance. He called it his worst afterwards, and I think I've seen pretty much every fight in his career, and I'd have to agree. And it was certainly his sloppiest, but it is maybe not a good performance, but it was a good win for him. Puts him in the top 5 of the WBO, presumably, because Corcoran was 5th. Liam's, there's absolutely no need to rush him towards a world title fight, but it's always good to have one of those top rankings. I thought it was a good learning experience for him. It was atmosphere-wise, it was crazy. I don't think he'll get as carried away next time as he did on the weekend.
There was some trouble in the crowd, wasn't there, mate? They
turned the lights on.
Do you know Liam's from a part of Wales, and I can say this because I'm from the Valleys as well. He's from the Rhondda, and they are, if you mug them off, they're ready to fight. And combine that with Corcoran's fans, who were travellers, it was they could have done with a bit more security before it kicked off. And there was quite a lot of policemen came in the end, which segregated them and seemed to sort it out. But like to some people up from the Ronda, you wouldn't want to fight a woman from the Ronda. And I'm sure there was plenty of women in the scrap that was happening on Saturday.
There was one funny thing I noticed, obviously watching the fight at home, was Liam Williams, the Welsh rugby player, had been tweeting all week wishing the boxer good luck. And then at about 7:30 on Saturday night, he just tweeted out, "Has anyone got a stream for the Liam Williams fight?" And he got about 50 people sending him stream links in reply. Just thought it was pretty funny. He didn't even have the channel. But yeah, no, I thought it was a good performance. I really enjoyed the fight. I don't know if I'd want a rematch though. I thought Corcoran was pretty. I thought he should have been disqualified, to be honest.
When they mentioned a rematch after the fight, I wondered if I'd watched the same fight as everyone else. I thought it was entertaining and dramatic, but it was, it wasn't the most enjoyable fight for the actual skills on display, because Corcoran kind of smothered any clean punching from the both of them. I was a bit confused when people were asking for a rematch, especially when fucking Peter Stanley in the corner said it's got to be in London as well.
Frank wants to do it again.
Yeah, I think that a rematch would be good purely because we can see that they fucking despise each other, and it is this sort of genuine hatred, and it's not like this manufactured shite. And I think that maybe we might see a bit more just chaos. I think, I don't know, maybe boxing fans like that. I certainly wouldn't. I wouldn't object to seeing it. I wouldn't say, oh, for fuck's sake, why are they making this rematch? But it's not top of my list either.
The reason why, also I don't think it needs to be made is because especially with the Frank Warren stable, there are plenty of fights at light middleweight to be made. There's Ahmed Patterson, who's very good. There's Jimmy Kelly, who you've got he's quite tough, but you can play it. He's fought for a world title. Joe Pigford coming up. He's a banger. Reminds me a bit like O'Hara Davis. Probably a bit too soon for him, but there's plenty of fights to be made that I'd rather see before we see Williams rematch Corcoran.
Well, I want to see the Smith fight. I want to see William Smith. That's the next, natural fight. I think. He's going to get banged out by Canelo.
Do we, mate? Has there ever been serious indication that Gallagher and Smith were ever really interested in that fight, or not really?
Yeah, Liam was mandatory for Liam Williams was mandatory for Liam Smith, just before he suffered his hand injury. Liam Smith was stripped of the Commonwealth title because he didn't defend it. Liam Williams went and won that, and he had a hand injury, before the fight, but he punched Michael Lomax's head in, made her a bit worse. So that mandatory position just kind of faded out. I think Liam Smith was up for entertaining it because for some reason he's got a massive chip on his shoulder, and he thought he was almost offended that Liam Williams wanted to fight him for the British title, even though I maintain that Liam Williams' win over Ronnie Heffron is better than anything on Liam Smith's record, whose best win is either Eric Ocean, who won 4 rounds, or Jason Wellborn, who took the fight on 2 weeks' notice.
Well, I think Corcoran would be Smith's best win, wouldn't it, if he fought him?
Yeah, whoever won on Saturday has a better win on their record than someone who's fighting for the lineal world middleweight title.
Yeah, or someone who's fighting. Yeah, I guess fighting the lineal champ. But Smith, this is his fourth. Will this be his 4th world title fight?
Third, isn't it?
Third, okay.
No, he said
fourth.
Fourth, because he won it against Thompson, then it was against Kelly, and then
Pedrazovic, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Opponents who wouldn't win a British title eliminator.
Yeah.
I think, it's safe to say Liam Williams would have beaten John Thompson and Jimmy Kelly and all that lot. I'm just looking at the top 15 of the WBO. There's a few of the big names in there.
Does it matter though? Liam Smith's losing his belt.
No, I'm just looking at people. Williams could potentially fight. There's quite a lot of Heyman guys and PBC guys in there. Then you've got that Charles Hatley. He's with what's his face? Don King, I think.
Okay, no.
And I think he's mandatory for one of the Charlos. It's a bit of a mess at the moment. You've got Cotto in there. You've got fucking hell. There's some Thai guy I've never heard of.
Shep, I take it.
Horvath, number 10.
Horvath is number 10. At present, Liam Williams is number 13, and he knocked Horvath out in 1.5 rounds.
Yeah,
but as soon as Canelo beats Smith, he's going to dump the belt, isn't he? Because he needs to move up to 160. So,
well, he's not even interested in the WBO.
No, but so that means the WBO will be free, and then he might get called for fucking fight, and then he'll be in control of the negotiations with Smith because Smith's not going to get another shot.
Cotto's number 3 with the WBO, and I reckon if Canelo wins, he'll rematch Cotto, and I think that's what they do. It's just a waste of time, isn't it? And hope that Golovkin slows down.
Yeah, that's another May sort of pay-per-view, isn't it?
Yeah, they'll do Cotto next year, and then you'll end up with, I don't know where Smith will go, assuming he loses, and then maybe William Smith would make sense as a final eliminator or something like that. I don't know if it would ever work, but maybe William Smith wouldn't want to fight for a belt he'd already had. I don't know. I'm sure Gallagher would find a way to get out of it.
I think Williams has the upper hand in those negotiations as soon as Smith loses to Canelo, because Liam Smith does 200 tickets when he fights in Liverpool, and this is all promoters care about. His ticket sales and money made. And Frank Warren can either put the fight on in Liverpool, pay a shitload of money to have the Echo Arena, and Liam Smith will sell 200 tickets, or you can come to Cardiff, stick it in the Ice Arena, which is such a low ceiling, it's a great atmosphere. And Liam Williams did 1,100 tickets on the weekend, and they're all absolutely mental fans as well.
What's the capacity of the Ice Arena? It's about 5,000.
3.5.
3.5. Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, pretty good stuff. Yeah, like you say, Liam Smith doesn't sell, and we've seen so many cards in the last couple of years with a half-empty Echo Arena or a half-empty.
Not even half, mate. Three-quarter empty.
What's that other one in Liverpool? The smaller one? I can't remember.
The Olympia, which is like 9.
Even Stephen Smith can't even sell that out.
No, Masha the Dodd sold more tickets than Stephen Smith when he fought Gary Buckland in there.
Yeah.
And they all left, didn't they, before the Stephen Smith fight?
It seems to me like, strangely, out of the Smiths, Callum's the only one who can sell a few thousand, and I guess that's because he's got all the momentum at the moment.
But I think it was Rocky that sold most of the tickets when them two fought and did it out. I think Rocky Fielding's got more fans.
We've said before, it's Bellew the only ticket seller in Liverpool, really, isn't it?
Yeah, plus, what's his face?
Basha.
Yeah, he sells a couple of thousand, doesn't he?
David
Price, yeah.
No, there's one. What about who's the little guy?
What about Derry?
Derry, yeah.
No, the one who Tete knocked
Butler.
out. Paul, Butler. Does
Paul
Butler
Butler.
sell? Not really.
No.
He fight. Where did he fight Tete? Was that at Aintree or was that the Olympia?
That was the Echo.
Oh, was it?
What was
You
the
just
headliner
need-
that night? I can't remember.
Derry against
Tony Luis. Yes. The robbery.
Thing is,
Gary pretended he'd won a world title, even though it was like a fucking silver interim.
you know what Gallagher's like though. As soon as if Liam Smith loses to Canelo, he's gonna proclaim that, well, we're fighting at world level now. We're fighting the top, the best opponents in the world. We've had all this exposure. We're a bigger name still. Even if he gets sparked out in the first round, they're gonna give it all that shite basically.
Liam's been headlining arenas in America. Yeah.
right now.
80,000 in Texas.
Well, if that fight takes place, the only place it can logically happen, Liam Smith, Liam Williams is at Anfield, isn't it? I don't know why we're saying anything different.
I'm worried that there might be another super fight booked at Anfield for those dates, because there's just so many fights. And I mean, 2 in 50 years? It's just a boxing hotbed, that stadium. Honestly, I think in history there's only been like half a dozen fights at Anfield.
I think someone looked it up. It's like 1 or something, isn't it?
No, there hasn't been one since the 60s, and they constantly talk about it like it's a viable venue. It's so funny. Oh dear. Sorry,
Right,
Brian.
anyway. What fucking Oscar De La Hoya's doing his announcement. Let's stay Liam Smith's fucking grey hair. Anyway, so who's Liam Williams going to fight next then? Joey, have you got any inclination, or do you think it will be that Patterson?
Ahmed Patterson was his mandatory after he beat Ryan Aston in January, and I hear it was personal problems. He pulled out of that position. So I don't know if Corcoran counts as a mandatory. If not, I assume Ahmed Patterson will be placed as mandatory challenger again. Liam won a vacant title, so you can't really, complain if you do get a mandatory. If not, Frank Warren did hint off the record, well, not off the record, but off camera, at something big. But I don't know what something big would be, because I can't see any world champions come to Wales, and they won't be willing at this stage after he's just had a great homecoming to take Liam, anywhere else in the world.
Who would you like in an ideal world, mate? Like who would be a sort of good building fight or a learning fight for Williams? If we say that he's on the way to fighting at world level now, if not quite there yet, but obviously that's the ambition, isn't it? Ultimately.
Well, you want to tick boxes, don't you, as you go up? And he's fought Chris Carslow, who was a switch hitter, tough man. He can come forward and he can come backwards, and he knocked him out. He fought Gary Corcoran, who's a bit of a mauler. He can swarm you, he can mess you around. Fit lad as well, and he knocked him out. So if you want to tick boxes as you go through the levels, you want to fight different styles. And I think Patterson, even though I think Liam Williams will be much, much, much bigger than him, I think style-wise is a style he hasn't seen yet. We all know if you fight someone like Jimmy Kelly, he's going to pound him in like 6 rounds. Nav Mansouri, that fight was made for February, but like injuries and illnesses and everything, and then Nick Blackwell was injured. So none of the boys from the gym fought. That was, I can't see that being remade. So yeah, I think Patterson fits the bill. I think it's a very good fight as well.
Oh, cool. I just hope that kind of fucking Rigo comes back. I know we've let Jamie Conlon get a fight, man. That guy was an absolute bum that he was fighting. That's just
I turned it on thinking, it's Conlon, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath, and then it was over after like a round.
Yeah.
I missed the knockout.
Done for child abuse after that.
I missed the knockout because
child abuse. Are you fucking only on the show and you're writing about this fucking nonsense? Is this what we've got to here? Drew's even.
This is a family pod, literally.
Family pod, right?
Sorry.
I heard Frank Warren at the end there talking about Flanagan, and he kept going on about like unification fights, and we know Flanagan's like a big guy. He might end up being a like welterweight. I see like Warren maybe kind of try to chase the Ricky Barnes fight if he can't get nothing. But anyway,
he's going to Ratikanen, mate.
Well, this is what fucking we've been told, but
my source.
No, not your source, Carpy. Warren said it on telly on Saturday.
Yeah, but my source said it first.
Yeah, all right, but yeah, Warren said we're looking at Ratikanen, and I think that's perfect because Warren can say, well, this is a real unification fight.
That's what he exactly did say as well.
Yeah, it's got the actual WBC belt.
What did he call it? The hundreds and thousands belt, that diamond belt, didn't he?
Did you see that? Oh, Alex, mate, I know you called him out as well. I called out the same guy the day before. That little cunt who was grassing Hearn, like grassing up Warren to Hearn. Oh, Eddie, do you see what he... Oh, my God. Honestly, I replied to him saying, mate, like, what are you doing, like, grassing Warren up to Eddie on a Saturday night? You realise Eddie's not your friend? And then the guy replied to me, called me a knobhead or something. Then I removed Eddie from the conversation and started texting the guy, tweeting the guy, do you think Eddie's your mate? Do you think maybe he'll give you a retweet if you kiss his ass enough? And this guy kept tagging Hearn back into the conversation and then like insulting Warren. It was, I can't stand it. They're like the little grasses in school who would stand behind the bully, like egging him on, but not actually, wouldn't have the balls to do anything themselves.
That's how I imagine you to be fair.
No, I was the bully, mate. You've seen what I've done to Press Pass in the chat. I've destroyed him mentally. That's what I used to do in school.
Sly Cannon fight would be a good fight too. So, and it's not as if like he gets many fights and I doubt he'd won much money. So it's not a fight that Warren couldn't go over. But but it's like who blinks first into it. Warren's always wanting like options on guys, and we all know if the discussions of the other fighters that Heyman's won that and all. Anytime one of Heyman's guys fights somebody out with his camp, he always wants options on him. So
is Latikanen with Heyman or is he signed to DiBella?
He's with Heyman.
Is he? I thought he was promoted by DiBella. I didn't think Heyman had
DiBella is with Heyman, so it makes no fucking difference.
DiBella's a satellite promoter. Yeah, he's controlled by Heyman.
No, he's a sham promoter.
Yeah.
Would anyone mind if Flanagan fought Liam Walsh? Because he's just given up the British super feather title and he's in the WBO top 15 at lightweight.
I heard Walsh had a mandatory or something. Or some fight had been called an eliminator or something with Walsh in. I'm sure I saw that over the weekend. That might have been the other Walsh.
Is this the Walsh that was like going to fight Ricky Burns until he was in a crash or something like that?
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
For the WBO.
Is he still chasing a world title fight?
Well, he was out for ages, wasn't he?
Nah, but his career's not moved on at all.
Because he had a car crash.
Yeah. So what? We've all fucking survived car crashes.
I'm sure he still fought, Brian. If you remember, that fight was meant. I'm sure it was meant to happen in the March because it was the whole Rule Britannia thing. Vasquez was out, Liam Walsh was in, and then Liam Walsh was in a car crash, and he was out. But I'm sure the show was delayed a month to the April because Clev fought Krasniki on it. Just get my because I'm Welsh. This is how I'm rationalising it in my head. And I'm sure that Liam Walsh still fought on the same show and fought Scott Harrison.
Oh, I remember that fight. I wasn't happy at that. Scott Harrison would have ate him alive back in his prime.
I think the thing I saw, Dewey, was Craig Evans being called to fight Walsh, but I don't know if that's just a story or if it's actually been ordered or anything for whatever belt Walsh has got. Is he the Commonwealth champion or something like that? Yeah.
He was the British, wasn't he? But he's just given that up. Martin Ward, because Matchroom won the purse bids for Martin Ward, the mandatory, or Martin J. Ward. He's going to fight the fella from Yorkshire who lost to Di Davis, Andy Townend.
Right, Rocco, you on the call? Rocco.
Hello.
What's happening?
All right.
Right. What you want to tell us? You're going to tell us this another one of your fucking seedy stories?
No. I've got a question, right?
Right. Okay.
So, not to do with Golovkin, Brooke, but I'm using that as an example. So, we've heard all, what's your favourite fight, blah, 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 blah. So, what fight, right, did a defeat for someone sort of affect you the most?
What do you mean?
In a good or a bad
because
way?
What I mean
Yeah,
is, like,
good or bad.
No, well, I mean, like the defeat for someone. So let's take Golovkin, right? I love Golovkin, right? I really like Golovkin. So if he was to lose, I would be devastated. Do you know what I mean? And so I'm just like looking back. Obviously, I'm not saying what's the biggest shot. We know loads of favourites to lose, but you might not give a fuck about them. Do you know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, for me, I mean, there's been quite a few. I mean, I look back, like, obviously Mike Tyson, when I was a kid growing up, like, he was sort of like unbeatable. And then I woke up that morning after he fought Buster Douglas, because he should take the fight, because it was on in the middle of the night. And when I said he lost, I couldn't sort of grasp it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this weren't meant to happen.
I've got two recent ones, though. Like, I could go for my normal ones and use like kind of Oscar De La Hoya, but I'll know. But my three recent ones is fucking Naz losing to Barrera, man. I took that seriously bad, and Hopkins beating fucking Tito Trinidad and Kelly Pavlik. I'm all for defending like Hopkins, right? Bernard Hopkins, because he's great and everything, but at the same time, as much as he's great for boxing, he's been fucking terrible for it, because yous are all casual bastards when it comes to yous all just want like fucking punchers and all that. And Tito Trinidad and Pavlik were nothing but that, and that big fucking prick ruined it. I was absolutely fucking distraught when I woke up and fucking found out that Pavlik got his cunt kicked in. Distraught. And like Tito, he just fell in love with his power, didn't he? Absolutely get schooled. I watched that fight the other day when I was in the gym, didn't I? And I posted it. But Naz, I think maybe like Naz losing to Barrera. I was a massive fan of Barrera anyway. It was one of the ones where, you know how like you hate a guy, you either go two ways. You can either hate somebody that beats your boy, or you can start supporting him. But I like Barrera as it was, and fuck, man, I didn't think Naz could ever lose. But you never know that you never know yourself in the camp that he's lost focus on all that. But I definitely fucking Vince Nazim losing to Barrera was a fucking right sore one. But I fuck Bernard Hopkins, man. I hate Bernard Hopkins. I fucking do. There was nothing better than seeing Joe Calzaghe fucking slap that motherfucker. Fucking white man coming over there and fucking putting the black man in his place. You fucking heard me right, Hopkins, cunt. What about yours? I'm raging now. I'm fucking raging. That prick, by the way.
Pacquiao losing to Marquez in the fourth one, that pissed me off. Yeah, I didn't like that at all.
The motherfucker got ass.
Yeah, that one got to me for a while.
Sleep.
Because I thought Pacquiao was doing the best he's done in all the fights against him, and then he just gets absolutely evaporated.
Oh, that was a perfect punch. That was perfect.
My one's an obvious one, but it was like when I first got into boxing, and I took all the fucking bandwagon Ricky Hatton. Thought he was gonna do it. Obviously, when you don't know anything about boxing and you root for the guy that's funny and seemed like a nice guy, all them fucking mad fans going all that way, and I was fucking gutted when he lost to me. And Mayweather seemed like a bit of a dick as well. Well, he is a dick, but that was the first time I'd seen him, so that was it for me.
Well,
I could deal with the Mayweather loss, but I couldn't deal with the Pacquiao one. That was fucking horrific.
Yeah.
I held that against Pacquiao for years as well.
You know, let's see, that time I absolutely hated Pacquiao, and I didn't watch it live. When was that? 2012?
What one?
The fourth one, it was 2012 one?
It was December 2012, was right at the end.
Right, I was just basically coming out my fucking stupid stage, right? So the problem in fucking Falakis or something. But
stupid stage.
See when I woke up and seen that, I was like, I started with joy, but then I started realising this fucking Mayweather fight's never happening now. I was like, there's absolutely no reason for fucking Floyd to take that fight now. And as soon as that loss, you started seeing the stories. I told you I was always better than him. There was no point in me ever taking that fight in the first place. I was like, we're never fucking getting that fight. So it kind of turned. But then basically Twitter kind of came into everybody's life, and it was just it was like Lord of the Rings on Twitter because he packed cards and flow-mos went it. So everything, but that fucking punch. It was. The people going about being able to hear Jinky like screaming. I can never hear that. The crowd's going absolutely ape shit. I can never hear her fucking howling. So
have you ever seen Brian? Have you ever seen that knockout? And it's like a fan video from the stands, and it is behind Marquez.
Aye.
Marquez goes fucking wild as well as soon as he floors him, doesn't he?
Because Marquez got robbed 3 times. I watched the 3-day fights. If everybody knows that they were following me on Twitter at the time, see when Mayweather Pacquiao get announced, I turned into the biggest fanboy ever. I counted, you know how people turn around and say that Mayweather gets the benefit of the doubt in scorecards? I counted up every scorecard that Floyd has fought in fucking Vegas. I counted it all up and I divided it all, and I showed people that it's no fucking true, that Pacquiao gets a fairer shake in Vegas than Floyd did, and Floyd's been on this. I just turned into a fucking creep, man. But I watched the 3 fights. Pacquiao, Marquez, and I had Pacquiao losing all 3 of them, and I put all my scorecards in. Yeah, but
if you watched them now, because you're a packed hard now, aren't you? If you watched them now, you
probably I'm fucking heavy packed hard.
Exactly.
No, definitely not, because see the first one, I've always scored that. I think it's 113, 112 Manny. Marquez, I've always scored at that fight. That score line, I had that 840 Marquez, but because of that fucking first round, it was really close. It's every one of these fights are good fights. I know people pick Vazquez and Guy and all that, but see for pure boxing and skill wise, see Pacquiao, Marquez and Barrera Morales, they're my favourite fights.
Another one that gets me, it probably gets all you lot as well because we don't like him, but when Frotch destroyed Groves in that second fight,
I've never watched that fight.
Bothered me much more.
I've never watched that. I've never rewatched that first fight or second fight.
I've never rewatched the second fight ever.
What, the Frotch Groves?
I don't care.
No.
I've never watched the second fight on telly. I was there live, saw it, and I've never watched it back on TV.
It's both fights Groves was winning, so because you know what's happening in that fight, and I can't watch it back knowing this guy is winning both of these fights and somehow he loses. It's fucking heartbreaking.
Don't you think with the Bellew Cleverly, when everyone hated Bellew before that fight, and then it was the worst fight ever, and then Bellew gets the win and he's acting like he's just pulled off some unbelievable thing. That really pissed me off.
No, but good because
then we like him.
But because it was such a bad fight, he didn't get any credit, so I was sort of happy because I was like, okay, he's won, but he's not. If he'd knocked Cleverly out in a round, imagine what he would have been
I might say cinema when that card was on. I refuse to watch it. And I've never even watched one fight for that
But
card.
I just don't think Cleverly loses to him at any other weight, like in between even fucking cruising. It was all in Bellu's favour going up to that weight, and it pissed me off a bit because Cleverly seems alright. I like him. And
Cheers, Carl, I love you too.
Terry, my I've thought
when,
of. Sorry, yeah, you go, man.
I'll just mention it quickly because I guarantee whatever fight you mentioned, nobody was as upset as me when Nathan lost to Kovalev and that fucking
brutal.
So were you there live?
Say again?
Were you there live?
Yeah, I was front row.
Can you hear his punches when they land?
You can hear it when he misses. It's just like the G-force comes off his hands.
Did you know straight away, mate, after like the first round? Okay, this guy's for real. Like he's not a hype job. Could you see it straight away?
I promise everyone in the world, I knew he was good. I knew he was very good. But the worst thing I did was on Fight Week. I was reading about Kovalev's amateur career, and in like 2008, he fought a fella called Abosatoev, who was a 2-weight world amateur champion. And Atoev knocked him out in a round, and now he's at middleweight. And I can remember thinking, he might be chinny. You find with these fellas, don't you, where they really, really hit, but then they don't have a great chin. And then weirdly, some guys who can't hit do have a great chin. I was hoping, it'd be one of those cases. But I can remember in the second round, Nathan ducked under a left hook, and I can remember seeing the force in the left hook. I was thankful it missed. And I'm close to Nathan. I just convinced myself that it was going to work out okay, and he was going to stay away from him. But I think Nathan just squeezed up and held his feet too much, and obviously got caught. And after that fight, I can remember my mother trying to speak to me the next day. I was still living at home at the time, and I was like, "Mum, leave me alone today." And I didn't. I just went in my bedroom in a right foul mood. But I can get over that one.
Every day of my life.
I think it was one of those ones, wasn't it, where you genuinely thought, okay, Cleverly could be quite badly hurt here. Like he just looked like a sort of zombie, didn't he? Getting dragged back to the corner.
Oh God, yeah. When,
was that Terry O'Connor put him back?
No, but his dad as well. His dad's sending him out for the 4th round. It was just so stupid. Like he couldn't.
See that? I can't even remember what was it.
Dragged him to the corner. I think what happened was I think the second time Nathan went down, he was on all fours, and Kovalev hit him on the back of the head because Terry O'Connor is too physically big and slow to get in the way.
Yeah.
So I think Terry O'Connor tried to make up for that by dragging Nathan by his neck to the corner after the 3rd round, and it should have been. It doesn't take Nostradamus to say, does it, that we all knew what was going to happen at that stage.
I can remember watching it, and Nathan cleverly sort of sat down. He sort of fell onto the stool. Like, he could barely lift his head up to look at his dad. And then his dad just splashes the water in his head and goes, "Right, Nate, like, next one's coming up. We're going again." And I just thought, fuck's sake. Like, sorry for the accent, but I just thought, there's no way, like, this is going to end well. He can't win the fight, You've got to know when. And, like, luckily, he wasn't damaged by it. But it was, it was one of those ones where he wasn't going to get chinned like Ricky Hatton in one go. It was going to be like a beat down sort of KO, which is the nastiest ones. Yeah, I know.
I could get over that though when we saw Kovalev, go on to do very good things. But the Bellew fight's the one that the rematch is the one I struggle with a bit more, just because Bellew was everything I expect. On that night, I thought he looked slow. I thought he didn't look great. He looked telegraphed. But Nathan was nowhere near what I expected that night, and that's the one. If it was Nathan, I wish that Nathan would have looked at cruiserweight and thought, to retain my speed, I'll just fight at what I fight at when I rehydrate the light heavyweight. If he tried to put the weight on, he was just full of water. When he weighed in for that fight, I think he was like 14 stone 3.5, right under the limit. And when he fought, he was under 14 stone. He had like a 2-litre bottle of Lucozade before the weigh-in because he didn't want to give Bellew a psychological edge on the scales. And the whole thing was such a miscalculation. I'm just glad he didn't.
And it was all artificial weight, yeah.
I'm glad he fought Tony Bellew. In hindsight, I'm actually, when I think about it, it's such a mix of emotions. But I'm glad it was against Bellew that we found out he's not a cruiserweight, and it wasn't against someone good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a fun.
Can I ask you?
If he would have fought Marco Huck, at the time, or whoever.
Lebedev or something.
There's some big monsters at cruiserweight.
Well, Glowacki fucking put Cunningham down about 28 times, didn't he? He can whack.
Can I just ask you quickly, Dewey, while we're on that fight, what was up with Cleverly's right hand? Why didn't he? I've never got an answer to that. Why he just stopped throwing it? Did he actually? Because I heard he injured it, but then he didn't injure it. Or do you have any? What
You know what? All fighters have injured hands. I think he twinged it, but that wasn't the reason why he didn't throw it. If you watch the whole build-up for the fight, on both of his elbows, he's wearing like support things, because you can imagine how, especially a fighter like Nathan, they throw so many punches. He did have tennis elbow, but more than anything, he just gassed. He literally did 8 rounds and he had nothing left after it. And it was, he barely threw his left hand, did he? Do you know what I mean? It wasn't just a right hand.
Yeah, he was flicking out like 10 jabs around, and that was it. Yeah. Totally.
Do you know what though? I maintain that I think I had it like on the night. I think I gave him 4 rounds, and I did when I watched it back as well. But he only had to be a little bit better to make it very, very close. I know it was a split decision, but it wasn't. Was it? Everyone knew Belly won that fight. But I would just wish he would have been a tiny bit better. But if he would have won that fight, he would have ended up fighting someone very good. And he might have got stopped against a real cruiserweight.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was that said it, but like, see when Warren brought over Prescott for Cannes, can't remember where I got this story from. Like, they seen you know how when you can go and watch them like in the Wednesday or all that, they're doing their training and stuff. They watch them on their pads and they're like, oh, they brought their own guy, or I was like, that's a fucking. I was like, they should do something here to go to this fight, because this doesn't look like the sort of ringer that people are expecting here. Like, he does look like fucking the real deal. And as soon as like Khan gets in there, like people are seeing the fucking punches land right away. And it must have been a bit like that way, like Cleverly with Kovalev. As soon as like you're like, aye, quite confident and all that, and as soon as you start seeing the fucking punches landing, and it's let's see the thing with Kovalev, it's like his punches. There's never any grazing punches. He always fucking lands with his fist fucking clean through the guard, or like he just lands. There is no fucking half punches with him. They're just constantly fucking full force. So I wouldn't like that.
Do you know what gave me a bit more confidence as well was Shep. You a long time ago you said I was talking shit, but I promise I wasn't. Kovalev was a middleweight in the amateurs, 75 kilos. When he was in Cardiff, he was staying in the Marriott in the middle of town, and he was going to Jamie Oliver's restaurant, which is opposite, because I know someone who worked in their kitchen. He was in there 3 times a day, eating every single day of fight week. So I thought maybe he's not a light heavyweight. So that was another factor that gave me a bit more confidence than I should have had.
Yeah, I think yeah, obviously you've got a lot more knowledge of it than me. I've never sort of seen the guy up close. But I just remember there was that one HBO show where I think it was before the fight against Agnew or something. It was after he won the belt anyway. But it was that 2 days thing, and he was really struggling to make the weight. But yeah, like you said, and I just assumed that was because he was quite a big guy. He looks quite big at the weight, but maybe that's he just had a bad camp or something. Yeah.
See, you say that about the full force. I heard, I don't know if it was from him or an interview he'd done, but somewhere I heard it or read it, that he reckons that, they reckon that he said that he doesn't put full force in for the first round or two. Like, he sort of like teases them so people think, oh, he don't punch that hard. Do you know what I mean? I can open up with him, and then in about the 3rd round, he just like flattens them. Do you know what I mean? It just goes.
They talk about this a bit, Rocco. I remember Paulie Malignaggi talking about it with Lomachenko, and it's like, you assume, okay, you want to be hitting the other guy as hard as you can all the time, but actually, yeah, there's a lot to be said for the really good fighters who will vary up the power of their punches, not just the placement, but actually how hard they're hitting. And yeah, I totally believe that. I think Kovalev's got a pretty good brain, and if you look at the way he stops people, it's always in sort of, or usually there was that long streak, wasn't there, when he was stopping people in the 3rd or 4th round.
Yeah.
It was a couple of rounds of sort of feeling them out, and then he'd step up the gear and just get them out very, very quickly after that. Yeah.
He had sort of sadistic bastard impression of him as well, didn't it? Like the fact
that Pascal fight, right? He had him out on his feet, but he wouldn't finish him. Yeah, that was horrible. Yeah. Yeah, he's a nasty guy.
When Nate got to the 4th round, I think he was like only the 3rd person to get to the 4th round. But I can remember Kovalev certainly did. I think if there was ever a night to beat him, it was that night, because he was relatively young, inexperienced. He was in a massively partisan crowd, long way from home. He was cut badly, I think it was over his right eye from a jab. But Nate told me even in the first round he was hitting him on the shoulders, and he said it felt like a small sledgehammer. So he's just
you
got
saw how red his arms were so red, weren't they, after the fight? Cleverly, it's like his entire arm looked like he'd been, he looked sunburned all up his arms and all over his shoulders. It was horrible.
I've just got a little announcement. Oscar De La Hoya said that Liam Smith's the most popular fighter in the UK. And he also expects to sell out at the 100,000-seater stadium.
Liam Smith's not even the third most popular in his own family.
Robert Garcia didn't even know who Liam Smith was in an interview earlier on.
Oh, yeah, can I, Rocco, mine, by the way, my most disappointing? I've got, the first one, my most disappointing ever is Martinez beating Cotto, losing to Cotto by a mile.
Yeah,
I always find it's more disappointing when the guy you like, in their prime would have easily won, but they've lost because it's timing. So the other one that got me, do you remember that fight? Well, Morales was doing so well, but he just wasn't physically able to to get over the line, and I think he probably won. He won 4 or 5 rounds, but Garcia it was a close but clear fight. But you just thought, if Morales was like 5 years younger, he would absolutely wipe the floor.
He should have taken some stronger peds. He might have been.
This was the first fight, I think, before the PED thing. The second fight he got smashed, didn't he? With the he got knocked out. But in the first fight he did so well, and the narrative was all about is this Morales' last stand, a great champion. And then Garcia was just a little bit too young and too fresh for him. But that always got me. And then obviously the fight that gave me the best feeling ever was Margarito beating Cotto by a mile. I was just deliriously happy for months after that.
See, that's my point. Like, all the ones you mentioned were all the ones that, obviously, I mean, you're all about 15, aren't you? So I'm older than you. So, as I say, I remember Tyson. I remember Nigel Benn. I was a big Nigel Benn fan when he lost. Do you know what I mean? It was like, oh no, it's going to be your favourite. It's going to be when your guy, someone you really are invested in, Dewey there with Cleverly. When someone you're really invested in loses, do you know what I mean? Or someone you really like, but
when Glenn Catley lost, Carpy couldn't even. He got a day off school the next day, didn't you, Carpy?
I did.
It's sometimes though, obviously it's who you like, but it's then when they lose to someone that you really dislike, it kind of even adds to the.
Yeah, exactly. It doubles it.
Adds to the.
So I love Mikey Garcia and I hate Broner. If Broner ever beats Mikey Garcia, I will just be absolutely devastated. I'll be so upset. Hopefully it will never happen. But yeah, it's all about magnifying it, and especially when the guy you hate is only winning because he's younger and the guy you love is older. Like if Ricky Burns gets beaten by, I don't know, Stephen Smith, Brian will just be so depressed because he'll know that a prime Burns would have smashed Stephen Smith.
A prime Burns beats Duran. Let's not beat around the bush here.
See, I'm not delusional over Ricky Burns. I've always said that a prime fucking Scott Harrison with the fucking smash Ricky. Scott Harrison with a fucking walk through Ricky.
That's literally the only person you've ever said would beat Burns.
Terence Crawford.
Did an Arthur Alex beat him?
Shut your fucking mouth.
What about if a fight massive back in the 70s or 80s? I forget what it was because I wasn't born. But say for saying so, Leonard beat Duran now. Imagine the uproar then.
Oh, that would be. But imagine boxing Twitter when Duran beat Leonard. How that would have been like Maidana Broner times 1,000,000. We were. Do you remember being? Did you guys stay up for Broner against Maidana? That was the best I've ever seen social media. Everyone was just having an absolute festival on there. It was so funny.
Yeah, there was parties in the street.
No, but honestly, I remember I was knackered and they didn't come out. It was a really long card. They didn't come out till 4 a.m. and I thought, if Broner just wins now, I'm going to be so disappointed that I stayed up for this. And then, it's 6 a.m. and I'm there uploading videos of the knockdown and putting it on Facebook and everything and just having an absolute one of the best nights of my life. And I was alone watching a stream on the computer in bed. But it was.
Dab, you're a wee fucking weirdo, mate. Honestly,
what's he saying now?
Smith had Canelo shit in his pants face to face, the size of Beefy. Dab, You've had a fucking dick in your mouth. Honestly, a fucking dick in your mouth. You talk some amount of fucking garbage. No cunts fucking fear a fucking beefy. No, who in their fucking right mind would be fearing some cunt with a nickname called fucking beefy? You're in your 20s with fucking shit grey hair.
Gaming in Liverpool.
Fucking. Honestly, I can guarantee you right now, more cunts will watch fucking videos that I'm in than people will watching his fucking. See if you go on fucking IFL, my video here me a fucking YouTube hits and that fucking boring helmet. Fuck that fucking bam. Honestly, see if Liam Smith ever gets a hold of me, I'm probably going to be his fucking best ever fucking win. His resume is absolutely fucking dog shit. And see when Canelo fucking ices that grey hair fucking Team Smith bros wank, then I hope you fuck off and fucking die. Suffocate yourself on your most fucking tits, you fucking creepy bastard.
Shep, you got any more questions?
I'm all done. We're moving on for this question because you've dragged that fucking out. We just want to laugh at Liam Smith, Canelo getting made for Dallas and all the fucking Team Smith bros fucking fans booking up to go to fucking Vegas, and then that grey hair fucking worm turning around and saying if you still want to go to my fight, all you need to do is get a flight to Dallas. Is that all you need to do, Liam Smith, you fucking bossack? All you need to do is fly.
Cake, mate. Yeah.
All you need to do is get a 7-hour flight to New York, and then you need to sit about for 2 hours, get a flight from New York to Vegas, and then all you need to do is to get a flight from fucking Vegas to Dallas to go and watch your fucking shit ass. Your shit ass that your best win is fucking Eric the Eagle Orchain. Eric the fucking Eagle. Have you fucking seen this? That guy fucking fainted in the ring because the fucking lights were too warm.
Ryan, can you do me a favour?
Hey.
Can you say worm again? Because you really remind me of Hamish from Braveheart. I'll crush you like a worm.
That is a fucking worm, though. Yeah,
Worm.
Honestly, but the cheek of these fans. I mean, I'm an Oscar De La Hoya fucking fanboy, and these fuckers are wanting Oscar to apologise for nothing saying. I tell you who it was that told fucking people the fight was in Vegas. You know who it was? Fat Smigger Smig. He fucking tweeted, oh, we're all going to Vegas, and then he deleted it and apologised. You big fat repulsive fuck. You ain't fucking fans, and you've not even got anywhere, you fucking loser. But they've basically booked up because of you. And seriously, maybe the point, if there's people on this pod that are fans of Paul Smith, you fucking tweet me and tell me, give me your valid reason why, and don't just say, oh, it's a fucking jaunt to Vegas, we all like going to Vegas. No! Nick likes to go to Vegas where the end game is to watch Liam fucking Smith, right? It's basically like cunts going to fucking Blackpool so he can shag a fat bird. It's fucking wrong in so many fucking levels, you fucking creeps. So if you're listening to this and you're going to watch Liam Smith, tweet me, because I want to retweet your fucking answers. So then people laugh at you, and then bully you, and then you feel like shit, and then you delete your account, and then Coogan says, where's your problem with casuals? What is your problem? You've got 190,000 tweets, why don't you fucking get a life? What about you suck my fucking balls, Coogan Cassies? I fucking made you. Made you. You fucking walk about there thinking of fucking it and you've got fucking Helder. Y'all fucking man, y'all respecting that, y'all. Have any's ever seen his fucking music videos? The fucking weird. What music is that it plays? I'm getting right after one because of you dab. Honestly, you're most a slut. But Liam Smith's fans, how funny is that? They're having to fucking...
The best one I saw, this fella just said, oh, good luck in the fight. I'm not going to... It's 4 hours, I'm not going to go. I'll be watching it from Vegas. Good luck. Oh, that's class. There's no one else who's that half-hearted. The fans that they're actually just going for a weekend away. None of them care about the fight. They're like, nah, I'm not going to fucking Dallas, mate. Sorry, too warm.
Imagine what. Where are you going? Oh, I'm fucking going to Vegas. Oh, you going for a big fight? Aye, who you going? Liam Smith. Who? Liam Smith. You know the Smith brothers? The four fucking brothers won British titles, and your bud's like, you're no fucking going nowhere, Vegas, to go and watch this fucking bum. Nobody's even heard of him. Dab's probably fucking sitting there rubbing his fucking hard on off his kneecap, saying, oh, but fucking he stayed with fucking Frank Warren. No cunt gives a fuck. Nobody really cares.
Dab didn't even go to the show on Saturday.
Aye, Dab, that shows how much that fucking
he didn't go, because I've seen his fucking timeline earlier on. He was tweeting, and if he managed to get any fucking signal in that building, then he was tweeting all through the car.
I saw Dab. He was the third force in the big riot. There was Williams fans, Corcoran fans, and Dab. It was like Game of Thrones.
mean, look at this floppy dick.
I wanted to give a square go for next big pod because he's fucking us off, isn't he?
John Thompson is better than Octane, you fucking casual. Well, see if you're actually arguing that John Thompson's better than Octane, and John Thompson, and you're trying to fucking dispute that. That just shows how shit his resume is, that John Thompson's better than Octane, who's probably his best fucking win. John Thompson's fucking garbage, and John Thompson was outboxed him for 5 rounds. Oh,
I had
Jesus.
this one the other day, Brian. How can someone, right, with Beefy fights one way, I've never seen him throw a proper jab, I've never seen him go on a back foot. His best, look at his world title wins. He fought Radacevic, who wouldn't win a Welsh title. I'm not even exaggerating. Barry Jones, the Welsh champion, would beat Radacevic. And then before that, he fought Jimmy Kelly, who won the first 2 rounds against him of like a 6-round fight. And before that, he fought John Thompson, who won the first 3 rounds. How can you pick someone like that to beat Canelo? I don't think Canelo is, the bee's knees and the best of the best, but he's proven world level, and Liam Smith is improving European level.
No. I mean,
Dewey, mate, there was a photo put up earlier by Paddy Power, and I still can't tell if it's real or not. But it was one of those ones, Canelo and Smith is confirmed. Who wins? Retweet for Canelo. Heart it for Beefy. And again, I don't know if this is. Oh, am I still on? Yeah, sorry. I don't know if this has been doctored, but it had 3 retweets and 439 likes. So you just think. I just don't understand fans like that who will completely ignore the reality of the matchup.
Sure, I guarantee you though, if you ask Paddy Power on the bets taken for the fight, they wouldn't be so much in Beefy's favour.
Oh no, of course not. But I don't know. There might be some value in Canelo. You never know, because he's almost definitely going to knock him out. And
I don't think that Beefy will be as reckless as say like Kirkland was. But he's going to come forward, like I just said. He's never boxed. Exactly. If he goes on the back foot, he just gives Canelo room to step into his shots. And if he fights like he has fought the other 23 fights of his career, he'll come straight at Canelo with his hands up and his head down.
And he'll have the high guard, but he'll just get smashed to the body, won't he? All night. He'll just be ripping.
Standard Gallagher fare.
Yep.
Do fuck all for 6 rounds.
It's
Pray
not
that
as
the
if
other guy has a heart attack.
It's not as if Liam Smith fights like a Rinky White where he's got that tight fucking guard. I honestly believe Rinky White has got one of the fucking longest set of arms ever, where his full body was covered. It's not as if like he's tight guard and he's got a fucking outstanding jab. Like as Drew says, he doesn't use a jab, so how's he going to fucking match up with Canelo? But if he's just got that fucking high guard,
he blocks punches with his head and then starts smiling about it.
And is that how he's getting grey hair? Because he just keeps getting punched in and punching the collar out it?
He's not going to be smiling when Canelo clocks him a few times.
No. But it was totally funny the day. Honestly, man, I was in the gym fucking busting the trainer, no? And next thing you know, you go on WhatsApps and Ainsley's in his glory. Aha! They've gone to Dallas, so I go to fucking Twitter, don't I? I start retweeting every day. It gives me a lot of joy that. I'm a sad bastard, but what about it? But that's great. Like when Steve Kim says weeks ago it's heading towards Dallas, and you've got people turning around and saying, how would Steve Kim know? I know Steve Kim that works for Ring TV, who's owned by Oscar De La Hoya, but how would he know? But there you go. Right.
There's more chance of fucking JR Ewing getting his arm raised that night than Liam Smith.
That is showing your age, mate. I like the reference.
I don't even know what
these 15-year-olds won't understand that.
No, exactly.
Are we going to wake up and it's all a dream and the Gallagher and the Smiths don't exist?
I get you. That's quite fun.
See, I know that, and I'm only 24.
You sounded like fucking Boise there.
Who?
You, Rocco?
No, man.
Right, guys, before we go into the previews of Crawford Postol.
Well, I've got some questions, mate.
I'll fucking decide when we go on the questions. I want to get this out the way. I made a point the other day because I think I was tired at the gym, and I seen I have to go into my other account. Who's rubbing a condom off the fucking phone? I went on in my other. Fucking masquerade mask and that, handcuffs. I went on in my other account to see check Cairns account, Because as you do, because I basically go on to check Kieran's account to see if there's any Mongos, and then I can retweet them onto my other account so I can retweet them again. It's so sad, but whatever. And all I seen was like birds like, oh, that great night out and all that, like making out as if, oh, I've got tickets for Golovkin. You've probably never even fucking heard of Golovkin, you fucking slut, right? And oh, can't he wait? It's going to be a great night out and all that. And that's got me pissed off, right? Women in boxing, right? And I'm not including the likes of like women that are married to boxers or going out with boxers because they're involved in the game. And I don't include Matt Bow's wife for this, right? Because she's read more books than I fucking ever will on boxing. She only got into boxing a couple of years back when obviously she met Matt and Matt left it in her. And she I remember when meeting her and that, she was reading like the Four Kings, and she fucking gets all autobiographies and that, and she doesn't drink, so when she goes to a boxing show, she watches the first fight to the last fight, so she's into her boxing. So I'm not calling them, I'm just talking about the matchroom sluts, the fucking hanger owners. I don't know if women within boxing are worse than casuals, but they're a fucking pain in the arse.
Name and shame, Brian.
I won't use to name people, right, but I'll give you a fine example. Michelle Phelps. Sorry?
Maggie Thatcher.
Nah, she's deep, the fucking zombie bastard. I'll just give you an example, because a lot of people know Michelle Phelps. She does not have a fucking clue about boxing whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. And I might be generalising because people will turn around and say, but this lassie, there's going to be the odd fucking few in there. But see, when you hear a lassie talk about boxing, they cannot tell you one fucking iota of the fight, the way the boxers fight, absolutely nothing. They're just casual right out their fucking tits. They're just there to get a fucking cheeky 40. And I think women in general are just attracted to boxing because it's accessible. Boxers are accessible. Getting a fucking picture with boxers, no like Fitbit, no up. You can be round about any day you want. It's a social event to women. It's nothing else. Katie Taylor. I just fucking said boxers, you prick. You've made me lose my train of thought. What was I saying there? I use a hopeless.
You don't like women.
No, I don't.
Why do you even care about this?
Because I care. It's my pod. I'll do what I want. It's they go to the shows. They're dressed up as if they're fucking going to like the Oscars, right? All the others are fucking dressed like tanks because you're going to get full of booze, gear and all that. You're there to watch the fights. These fuckers aren't even watching fights. They don't even know none. A punch doesn't even land and they're screaming. They're fucking saying, "Fuck him up! Fuck him!" And they're just fucking get off their head screaming and all. They don't know nothing. You try to talk to a lassie. You try to talk to a lassie about boxing, they have not a fucking clue what you're talking about. You'd be better off talking to a fucking alien. I want you to fucking... Do you agree with me? And he's not. Don't listen to him. Fuck up, that kid. Seriously, when you're on Twitter, do you not see the shit that they're posting? They don't have a fucking clue. Where's the point? What are you doing here? Don't even try to educate yourself in boxing either. It's nothing. It's a social event to use. It's fucking nothing else. It's like a youth club. You're all going there on a Friday night to get a cheeky finger.
Do you think that that's just the trait of a casual though? Do you think that there's a lot of blokes that are essentially just the same? They follow boxing because it's, you know, a manly thing to do. It's a bloke thing to do, and they think, oh yeah, this is, you know, right, good crack, and they do it because their mates are doing it and they want a cheeky photo again because it's very accessible. They do it as a social life, and that's what Hearn's capitalised on. He's capitalised on this market of people who just want a night out.
But I'm saying that, like, all women...
And the women have joined in on that. It's not necessarily, you know... I think I do agree with you in the sense that a lot of the women and blokes at the same time are doing this, where they just come and they are... what are you doing?
Lots of fellas take their women to the boxing now, don't they? Just to, you know, include them so they don't have to desert them.
What was really... I had it recently, Alex, where I went with... I went with my wife to... what was it? It was Brooke Gavin. So.
Ah, you specky bastard.
I'm on the camera. Oh. Sorry, ladies. Hands
fucking champion that.
Anyway, no, we went to the O2, and you know, she sort of went there wearing like a sweater and jeans and trainers, and then she was like, oh, we got there and she went, was I meant to sort of get dressed up? And I was like, no, don't be stupid. It will just be a few girls who are like that. wearing the heels and the miniskirt and that. And then we went in, and like every bird had fake lashes on, and like was wearing sort of like a mink sort of. There were loads of girls wearing like those what are they called? Not scarves, but similar. And all the guys are wearing suits, and you just think, for fuck's sake, you're watching a sport. Like, do you wear a suit when you go and watch the football? What's going on?
I've got a theory. Basically, because it is like a manly sport, and it's probably 95% men. Like, if you're like, say, an average-looking bird, or even worse than average, the amount of attention you can get at a boxing event off lads who are fucking pissed off their mind, and there's only about 7 women there.
You're talking about people like the ogre.
So they like. No, I'm talking in general. It's not the same with football, because football is a bit more of like a mixed sport, but it's like you can get a lot of attention from being pretty average, and I think that's half of where it comes from.
That's pretty much typified by the reaction Press Pass gives whenever anyone posts a picture of Lady O. He is absolutely howling for it. Paul's a very handsome lad, and Lady O is average at best.
Paul who?
Press Pass.
Paul's a fucking vile human being.
Press Pass is a very handsome lad, and he is out of control with lust for Lady O. It's very, very strange.
Kurt's the thirstiest guy I know, so
he really is. He's actually quite
bisexual.
He's quite disgusting, some of the things he says.
But I'm not going to lie here, I would love to lick Shady's fucking minge, right? But that's by the by. They shouldn't be at the boxing.
You don't want to do it at the boxing, exactly. You've got principles.
Aye.
Look, I'll do it, but only after the fight's end.
Not a Warren show either, because there's no toilets over. So Brian, so basically what you're saying is you want it to be a bit like golf, where you vote in whether the women can come. Is that what you're saying?
Aye. Basically what the bitches are doing is, you know how when you go to Magaluf and it's like a pure cock fest, it's like 22 guys to one bird? That's why birds are going to the boxing, as you are saying. They're going like that, I'm going to get the fucking fanny drilled right off me, some fucking dafty with a tweed fucking suit jacket on, a pair of nice denims, some fucking brown brogues, and they're going to fucking bun it, and they're going to fucking...
It is just a night out. It is like a fucking...
Get to fuck, you fucking hounds! Get to the club!
That's what it is. It's like them going to a club or like a pre-pub or something. That's what it is. They're going there. It's a sociable event where they can, show off their tits and ass in like ridiculous fucking gear and show off to all the blokes. Like you said, there's 20 blokes to one bird, and they show it all off. And I think a lot of them do that. It's again, and the blokes are doing the same. They're there for a night out. They're there to get pissed up. They're there to hang out with their mates and shout fucking stupid football chants at a boxing match without knowing who the opponent is in this fight, and they've no interest in learning more about the sport, and it's the same.
So if Cal's right, Brian, and it's basically fight, like 5 birds at average, thinking, well, someone's going to do me. Do you know what I mean? Because there's going to be like 20,000 geezers there. Like you should have had your fingers in somewhere. The amount of boxing shows you do. So it's a bit of an indictment on you that you ain't got in there somewhere.
I'm having
I've never heard him lost for words.
See when I'm at the boxing though, it's like the security fucking I'm fucking twice now. I'm behind the security and all that. They don't let people through, so it's hard for me to fucking mingle with normal people, so I don't ever get to see the box.
And they're usually over the age you tend to go for, aren't they, as well?
Exactly. Why do I want to go with people that's already been blasted off about fucking 20 other guys? I'm there for fucking the freshness. I'm basically, when I see a lassie out wearing 6-inch heels, a wee short dress at the box, and I'm thinking, where do you stay and who's watching your veins?
Did you see? I seen in the news. I don't know. I can't remember what paper it was. I seen it come up on Facebook that Michael Jackson wanted to marry. What's her face who plays Hermione when she was like 12 or something. I just thought of you straight away.
I'm fucking ball. So, like, do you think there should be a rule then that like birds shouldn't be able? It should just be a pure fucking cock fest at the boxing where it's just all guys and.
Brian, when you come to watch Rigondo fight in Cardiff on September 17th, is a chance Craig Kennedy will be fighting Oval Mackenzie on it? or at least be fighting for the British title. I'm telling you, Craig Kennedy sells like 700 tickets. Half of them are women. It's the only boxer I've ever seen who does it.
I thought Ove was fighting Hook.
Well, I don't know, but it's mandated and Warren's won the purse bids. But honestly, like half of Craig's fans are women.
I don't really see it as a massive issue. It's annoying.
You're having a fucking meltdown every day on Twitter about them. Not on fucking on the WhatsApp chat. Fucking birds, man. See they fucking cows, you know that.
Alright, I don't like them, but I don't think we should fucking ban them. I think let them go, but just ignore them.
Yeah, it's not about
have a look, but ignore
it's a
them.
casual issue, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah.
What
Get
about
rid of ban casuals, that'll do.
It's
what
just a
about
subsection of casual.
Aye, they're not allowed in if they get a hand job.
It's just like a turnstile. They've got
Seems
to give their hands.
practical, yeah.
You're just sitting there, like, can I get fucking four sambucas, please? Not, and like just chugging off, and you're like, They're like, what's it that? And you're a bit the tickly bit, you're like, for you, about, please. And you're like, right, and then they wipe you and they walk away. And then you go bang. At least they put a service in instead of walking. And
then they get a stamp on the back of their hand, doing it.
VIP, there you go. Where did they wear any fucking heels? Their fucking feet end up looking like waffles because their skin's sticking out everywhere. Fucking, it's even worse. Seeing you're a big fucking fat munter, and I've been there. I know what it's like to be fat as fuck and ugly. But I'm not beautiful. See if you're a fucking fat munter and you're walking about with fucking dress now. Naked wants to see that shit. Get yourself to fuck your boot. Right. I just wanted to say that.
Rocco, can you tell us the Batman story from earlier?
Oh, not again.
Want me to play it?
Well, can you play it for the viewers, please?
No, because no.
No, I wouldn't. Right, guys.
He sounds annoyed.
Right, before we finish up, we've got fucking the fight of the year, probably. That is the so far the fight of the year. I'd probably say that, like, see with the shite fights that we're getting, I would say this is only, if Ward Kovalev is made, this is number 2 to that fight if it gets made.
You were shitting on fucking Crawford the other day. You were saying he's beat no cunt.
His best win was the King in Scotland, was his exact words.
Yeah.
Aye, I was doing it ironically.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Postol's got a better win than fucking Crawford has, and people are saying
What's your fault?
No, yeah, he has. Yeah, Matisse would fucking rip all them to bits.
Matisse's fucking not better than Burns. What's Matisse ever done? His best win's fucking...
Burns got schooled
he knocked out Peterson in 3 rounds, for fuck's sake.
It doesn't matter. Then you're going all casual. Just because you beat somebody within 3 rounds doesn't mean it's a better win than somebody...
Matisse beats everyone on Crawford's record, 100%.
Well, we don't know that. Triangle theory.
I do.
Brian's
I know.
You see, Brian retreated then from does he fuck to, well, we don't know that. Within about
we
5
don't know that.
We don't know anything, mate. We don't know anything. We don't
exactly.
Go ahead.
This is Rocco argument.
My point was, Postol shouldn't be a 5-1 underdog when he's got a better win than him. He's fucking about 6'8". He's perfect at the weight. He's been on weight for about 3 years.
Is it really 5-1?
Is it really Crawford hasn't fucking beat anyone, so I don't see how he's a 5-1 dog.
5-1 is. I'm going to put a bit of money on that. I don't think Postol will win, but I think that's value.
Postol's definitely losing now. Your fucking touch is fucking horrendous when you put on a fight.
Yeah, my predictions are shit, aren't they? That's why I'm dominating the prediction league.
You're not putting money on me, are you?
He is. He's backing the ones he don't pick in the prediction league to make him win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's exactly. I've got every base covered.
And also, you've got to think if Gamboa can put fucking Crawford on Queer Street, is he a super flight Gamboa?
No,
I'm pretty sure.
He's a super featherweight.
Yeah. Yeah, I was taking the piss. I'm pretty sure Postol can ice him.
Postol's not a big puncher.
Yeah, you're just going from Matisse. He's not a big puncher, is he? Everyone was shocked when he floored Matisse.
Postol.
He doesn't have to be a big puncher. Crawford's made of glass.
Postol.
Oh, come on! You just hate anyone with hype. Any amount of hype, that's it. You despise them straight away.
To be fair, both guys have been hyped a bit by HBO and that. They've it's not as if they're like slagging off Postol. He's got a bit of hype behind him as well. I think 5-1 on Postol decision is a very good bet.
It's 8-1 decision.
Is it? Fucking hell!
Yeah.
I'm putting money on that definitely. I think Postol can he could definitely hang with Crawford. It'll be a close fight one way or the other. I think Crawford will win. I suspect it'll be like an 8-4 type of fight, but I think it'll be competitive.
But you wouldn't be surprised if Postol won, yeah?
I would be surprised if Postol chinned him and knocked him out. I would genuinely be surprised at that. Having said that, I also wouldn't be surprised at all. So,
what's everyone else think? Because I'm just Postol, but I think everyone else is Crawford, aren't they?
No, I'm going with Postol in the prediction leagues as well.
No, but do you guys actually think he'll win, or are you just betting it to try and look clever because you know you've already lost?
I'm betting it because if they fight this 6 times, he wins more than one of them.
No, but Cal, I mean actually, like, you know,
I don't
think he's going to win. Take the odds out.
I want to catch up.
Well, it's something completely.
Got to take some risks.
It's something completely different to Crawford's seen before, and he's not going to encounter something that tall and that rangy.
It's the biggest
exclusive forever, bro.
It's the biggest opponent Crawford's fought for a long time, because since he beat Ricky Burns, I know he had the Gamboa win, but he was a super feather, and Crawford's a massive lightweight, or was a massive lightweight, but he's really sort of like treaded water since.
Was it Delorme and then one more?
I think the thing with Crawford recently is I thought that the Beltran win was a good win because he won almost every round, and that's Beltran's a very tough guy, but that was almost 2 years ago. So yeah, I know what you mean. Or no, sorry, it was about 18 months ago. And
I don't know why they've held him back so much.
I don't think he could get the fights, honestly. I don't think there was anyone at 140 at the time they were all with Heyman. And to be fair, I think Delorme is a B-level guy, but Crawford beat him the way you should beat a B. You know, like he smashed him, and that's what you should do to B-level guys. It's not like he was sort of winning close decisions against these guys. He dominated John, knocked him out. He knocked Lundy out in about the 5th round or whatever, which we all thought he would, and then he knocked out Delorme in 6, I think. But Delorme won the first couple, if you remember. And his, good hand speed, working off his jab, and he won a couple of rounds. And Postol has shown he's got a very good chin and is very busy with his punches. And I think Crawford will be behind after the first third of the fight, but I think he's got more dimensions than Postol ultimately. But maybe maybe we haven't seen them with Postol. I don't know.
We've seen Crawford drop rounds here and there before. When he fought Gamboa, and like Carl was right, he did get buzzed in that fight because he was so eager to get forward. I think Postol's just going to hold him. It's almost like Vladimir Klitschko, what he does. He holds a lot, and it's just draining. And it'll be the first time.
I think the referee will play a massive part. I think you're right. Crawford's talked several times in recent weeks about the referee needing to watch out for Postol being dirty, and obviously he's talking about holding. I
don't know if I remember this wrong, but I thought Postol was better in the Matisse fight when he wasn't holding, when he was boxing properly.
It was much better. He got into a groove, didn't he? And I watched that fight about a week ago. That's another one that upsets me because it was.
But he just drained the energy from Matisse though, didn't he? And just forced him to reset, and he couldn't really establish any momentum going forward.
But also he took his best. He took a couple of punches from Matisse flush and didn't go anywhere, and I think that really
he did wobble.
Yeah. I mean, it looked more like a balance thing to me, but he was never seriously hurt, was he? And Matisse is a huge puncher, much bigger than Crawford.
See, the way I remember that fight going is Postol dominated the early bits, and then Matisse sort of came back into it, and then it stopped pretty much. There was nothing left, and Postol picked him off, and he took the knee and quit.
When Kellerman summed it up really well at the time, and I've got this fresh in my mind because I watched it about a week ago. But he said, we've now seen Postol, this is after the fight, he said, we've now seen Postol twice in fights where he was either the underdog or he was the lesser-known fighter, against Aydin as well. Aydin had fought a few times on US telly and was a bit more known. He said, we've seen him ultimately start slow, but go on to completely dominate both fights and knock the guy out late. And he does seem to get into these rhythms, Postol, where the other guy just gets completely out of ideas. Do you know what I mean? And I've never seen Crawford out of ideas, so I just don't know if the same thing will happen again. But Postol seems to get into this groove and get ahead of steam and become incredibly hard to beat when you let him. And I think Crawford will need to take the initiative to stop that happening.
That's what's one good at hanging with Crawford. He seems to have a lot of ring intelligence where, for some reason, he's orthodox, isn't he? But he always fights like southpaw to fucking totally confuse the fighter, because obviously the guy's going to look at him as like an orthodox fighter, so he's going to get his sparring partners in for that. But he always seems to start off and go rounds as a southpaw, and he'll lose rounds, but eventually for some reason he fucking wears the people down. But he's good at kind of but what I noticed against Burns, well, I noticed this, like, I watched fights before, like he fought Ricky Burns, right? And what I noticed was it's not like a Golovkin, you know how where they do that shifting, but he's good at that, where his stance fucking automatically shifts his weight for his left foot to his right foot, and he can just go from the body to upstairs really, really fucking quick. He's one of the most intelligent fighters, I think. Yes, that's as mature a fucking answer as you're going to get from me.
Brian, do you think he can afford to kind of go southpaw and sort of experiment against a guy as good as Postol?
Is Postol a southpaw?
No, he's orthodox, I think.
Well, but maybe it'd be a good thing for him to maybe do that then, unless like Postol's not going to be stupid. He'll clearly want to be getting like southpaws in there, like, in case he does that. But I think
Go on.
He's maybe like the reason he's going to go southpaw is because to move away from. Well, if he goes southpaw, he's moving towards like the guy's jab, but it's maybe so he can kind of time them to like for that like the overhand left or something. I don't know why he does it, but he looks natural though the way he goes. Like normally, see when you see somebody like kind of going a southpaw with an knee, they just make a pure cunt of themselves. But
like Fury.
Fury looks good doing it though. He doesn't look out of place, I don't think.
Here's a question, guys. I think this fight is so good. You know, it's like you said, Brian. It's an unbelievably good fight. Who do we think has got the edge in the following categories? So if we break it down into like mentality, into skills, and then into, say, I don't know, chin, who do we think's better in each of those categories? I think there's an argument Postol is mentally stronger than Crawford.
Well, never ever.
What are you basing that off?
Because he's Eastern European, I suppose they're all mentally tough.
No, but the way he reacts when he gets hurt and when he gets hit, and the fact that he's
you're saying Crawford reacts badly when he gets hurt.
Well, I'm saying Crawford has been hurt and
but what does he do when he gets hurt?
Loses the round
right
generally.
No, doesn't he fires back?
He goes right back at him. The worst thing you can do is hurt him because he goes straight back at you.
The main worry for Crawford, I think, is that he's at 135. He beat pretty much everyone there at the time. Gone up to 140 and literally fought 3 bums, like decent level bums, but they're still bums. And that's what worries me. Is he like building up to the weight? Because Postol's going to fucking tower over him. He'll be massive, skinny as fuck, but he'll be massive next to him.
But the thing is, like you keep saying that, but like Terence Crawford's a big lightweight the way he is. It's just that fucking Postol's a freak. He's just a 6'2".
Postol has like. Bastard. Postol's he's got like a dream physique for that weight class. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's no sort of. He's got the right amount of muscle to be strong enough to kind of push his opponents about and to tie them up and to punch. He obviously punches. He's not a massive one-shot guy, but he can punch hard enough to keep his opponents away. But also there's just no kind of excess on Postol. And like you say, he's on the weight like 3 months out. He just seems to be a guy who is always in shape, has 0 distractions, completely dedicated. And I think Crawford, maybe not so now, but he's definitely had distractions in the past. Outside.
No, it has lately. I can't remember what it is. He's banned the local media. I don't know what
he had a court case, didn't he? A court hearing or something back in Omaha, I heard. Something like that. Nothing serious.
I thought it was not to do with driving or something like that.
Yeah, it was for driving. But you know, Postol, Postol is the sort of guy who wakes up, goes to the gym, and goes home, and that is it every single day, and he just lives and breathes it. And he just seems 8-1. I'm shocked it's that wide. I hadn't looked at the odds before this pod.
Kabaddi's on Sky Sports 3, so let's hurry up here so I can watch this shit.
Do we, mate? Who's your pick?
You know what? I've had a really bad couple of weeks of picking underdogs just because I see value in them. So that's what really attracts me to Postol. And I do think there's a massive chance of winning, but I'll say Crawford.
Decision, or do you think it'll be a knockout?
No, I think decision, yeah. Where is the fight?
Vegas.
Vegas, yeah.
Fucking
hell, it won't sell that place out. No chance.
No, it's on pay-per-view as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the undercards the co-main. It was Gilberto Ramirez, the super middleweight, and he pulled out with an injury. So I think Valdez is the co-main now, but he's fighting.
Oscar Valdez is very good.
Valdez is very good, but he's fighting. It's a complete showcase, and the undercard's not very good. What do we think? What's the line for buys on this? It's got to be under 100,000, surely.
Well, what did GGG do? That was under 100, wasn't it?
It was like 85 or something.
Well, less than that then.
Isn't it amazing though that like with the might of HBO, and they're selling like less pay-per-views. Say like Clev Bellew too. I know that had that big fucking undercard, and it shouldn't have been pay-per-view, but that Sky Sports in Britain managed to sell that fight so much better than HBO in America.
Yeah, but we're not paying like 70 quid for it.
But they haven't even really really tried to sell it. Like if you remember Canelo Cotto and stuff like that, they had huge promotions from HBO, and you get the face-offs and you get the 24/7s. This fight has had nothing. I think they know.
Does Postol speak English?
No, not a word.
He's learning.
Do you think they just know that this fight sells to the hardcore fan and that's it? Like, even if they put in a promotion, no one will have heard of either of them if they're not a big fucking boxing fan.
Yeah, honestly, I think they're thinking if we can get 50 or 60,000, that's fine. Like, this will never cross over to the mass market. Yeah, you're right, completely. Cal, who do you think's going to win, mate? Let's get a
Postol.
Postol, what decision?
Yeah, a good decision.
Carpi?
I'm going Postol purely because Crawford's never seen anything like him before.
Do we think Postol's seen anything like Crawford before, though?
No, but I think it's going to be much more difficult for Crawford than it will for Postol. Postol's always fighting smaller people.
Do you think the jump? Yeah, you think it's a bigger jump for Crawford than it is for? Okay.
Yeah. If he wins this, I'll be firmly on the fucking train. By the way, I'm not just going to keep on saying he's going to lose every fight he has.
Oh, yeah, mate. The win. This is the best win for any fighter in the sport in a while. Like, definitely the last sort of 9 months.
Brian, it is 1 and 2 in the division. Which is nice.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going Crawford points.
Crawford points. So no one's going. Terry, are you still here or not?
He's fucked off. We started talking about boxing too.
Alex, is he still here? No.
Oh, he's back.
Terry, who's your pick for the Crawford fight, mate?
Well, to be honest, I haven't seen an awful lot of Postol order, so I don't know too much about him. But
the post
very good. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's one, as I always say, it's one of them. It's a good fight. I'm interested. I don't make sort of predictions. Anyone can win. So it's a good fight. I'll sit down and watch it.
No, you'll watch the Vine. Who are you kidding on?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to stay up for it. First fight I've stayed up for in a while. Yeah, it's exactly the type of fight we want, isn't it? It's a very well matched, even if you really fancy one particular guy. And I know a lot of people think Crawford is going to be like a star-making performance. He's going to really dominate the fight and win really well. But where does the winner go? This is a question we had earlier. Where does the winner go in pound for pound? Are they top 10?
Aye.
I think top 10, right? I think that's fair.
Crawford
5 and 10.
The top 10, both of them, and Crawford would probably be top 5 because they've done it at 2 weights.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, what you think is Postol's beat probably the 2 best light welterweights in the division. Because Matisse was like maybe to top 3 or something like that with Postol and like Crawford. And if Crawford wins, he's basically a 2-weight world champion, and he's beat the 2 best guys in each division, and Ricky Burns and Postol.
So he's beaten a Hall of Famer in Burns and one of the best fighters in the division in Postol. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a quality fight. There's not, can't knock it. I don't care that it's on pay-per-view. We get it on Box Nation, don't we? They've got it.
Yeah.
Up. Yeah. Exactly. So.
And if Dab's still on here, Dab, I pay for Box Nation. Mostly I'd rather fucking Disney pay for it, but I pay my monthly subscription.
Shep pays for it.
I pay for it. I'll tell you what though, the streaming is fucking shite. Honestly, it cuts out all the time. It really annoys me. I don't have it on my TV, but I watch.
What do you use, Shep?
I use their official website.
Shep, do you stream it on the app or do you stream it on a live spot?
No, I've got it through their website. I think there's a new portal for it, like live.boxnation or something. But I just do it.
Yes, live sport. I used to have that, and it was quite crap. So I cancelled my subscription and got it on the app, which is a bit better. But it's quite crap. Okay. You can pay £12 a month, and you can't watch it on the website and the app. They have to be separate subscriptions.
ridiculous. It does annoy me a bit. I mean, like I think the price is pretty good, but you expect it to like the iPlayer works 100 times better. Do you know what I mean? And I had to the Liam Williams thing during that fight. It kept sort of jumping back by 30 seconds and then repeating what I'd already seen before. It was a bit annoying, but
you've got to stay off Twitter as well when you watch it on the app. That's one thing.
Yeah, always. I've got to turn off the Wi-Fi on my phone. Yeah.
Mate, I think that is us. I think we're fucking covered, everyone. I didn't get
almost 3 hours.
I know. I didn't delve into like fucking human trafficking within boxing, but I'm sure we can do another podcast at some point, and I can talk about not so much the father-son relationship, what I find fucking quite harrowing, but the human trafficking that is beginning to appear in some circles of boxing, which I find fucking terrible. So we'll get into that at some point.
What are you even on about?
Are there any other fights this weekend? Is it only Crawford?
Kiko Martinez is fighting Eusebio, Joe, and Benadom.
Joseph Parker's fighting on Tuesday against some bum.
Boys, I really want to share a quick anecdote with you. My missus is really nappy. This has taken up like 3 hours, so she's gone upstairs. I couldn't tell you when you were talking about women boxing, but I've only taken her once. It was her birthday about 2.5 years ago. No, 2 years ago. It was the first birthday I'd been with her. So had a nice day out in Manchester, and then went to the boxing, which was meant to be Fury against Chisora, and obviously that didn't happen. Liam Williams was on the show. So I got tickets off Liam, and we were right in the gods. So she didn't have her glasses, so she was in a bad mood because she couldn't see anything. And then we were probably about 5. There was probably like us in one of the back rows, and then about 5 to 10 rows empty, and then Williams' fans. And obviously he beat up Ronnie Heffron, who was a home fighter. Plenty of fans there. And do you know when you just know something's bad is going to happen, and it's like almost slow motion, but you can't avoid it? Well, Ronnie Heffron's fans, I saw him coming a mile off, so I picked where we were in the back row. There was like a platform, like a walkway behind us. I picked her up and to go on the walkway, got rid of her, and as I turned around, I had this fella who was like as wide as he was tall, bursting with roids, and he threw, I think it was a right hand from my right hand side, and it just bounced off my nose, chinned me, so my nose started bleeding everywhere. I'm wearing a red top, but it's so obviously blood as well. And so she wanted to leave early after that, and I had to like run in her house and run upstairs so her parents didn't see me covered in blood after taking her to the boxing, which was a really bad episode of my life.
What, on your first date, you come home covered in blood? Yeah.
It wasn't our first date. It was her first birthday, with us being together. And she's never been since. I did offer to take her to Di Davis fighting in Merthyr Leisure Centre on Saturday, but that's why she said no.
It's sold out.
That enforces Brian's point, about no women at boxing.
Aye.
Yeah, she won't go again. She won't even go to an amateur show.
Yeah, my wife's the same. No interest at all now. She said the Kell Brook Frankie Gavin fight was so boring. She never wants to see another. I don't blame her, to be honest. It was shite.
Sometimes though, they look at things like so basically. Like, do you know on who was it? Bradley Skeet. Chloe saw a picture the other day of Bradley Skeet weighing in against that French bloke, and he's about 8 foot taller. And it is hard to convince him to watch boxing when she was like, "Are they fighting?" I was like, "Yeah," and she's like, "Why?" And like I couldn't give her an answer.
What is the point? And then the answer is probably, well, the promoter's got an obligation to get the guy a fight in the next couple of months. This is the best they can come up with. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Well, that's a good note to finish on, that there's no point to women other than the fact that they take up the arse. I've been your host, Brian King. This has been the Next Big Pod. And leave a review, like the video, and go and leave
5 stars
on iTunes. 5 stars. And before I go, fuck the asylum. Seb, eat shit and die.